they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. We some southern boys with the promised strength. Ain't nobody man enough to feel the pain. And you could be next, you better give respect. Cause ain't nobody breaking this redneck. No, they don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. And I'm a Mack truck, don't get run over. We some country boys working overtime, boys. Kings of the South, we never had nothing. Blue collar boys do it with their hands muddy. No, they don't want none. 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 They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. We some southern boys with the promised strength. Ain't nobody man enough to feel the pain. And you could be next, you better give respect. Cause ain't nobody breaking this redneck. No, they don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. And I'm a Mack truck, don't get run over. We some country boys working overtime, boys. Kings of the South, we never had nothing. Blue collar boys do it with their hands muddy. No, they don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. We some southern boys with the promised strength. Ain't nobody man enough to feel the pain. And you could be next, you better give respect. Cause ain't nobody breaking this redneck. No, they don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. And I'm a Mack truck, don't get run over. We some country boys working overtime, boys. Kings of the South, we never had nothing. Blue collar boys do it with their hands muddy. No, they don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared, no, they don't really want none.
What's up, everybody? It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for an all-new Socially Awkward Studios. We got your dude, Steve-O. And me, I'm your boy, Froyo. It's Friday night. The drinks are tight. Let's have some fun.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Socially Awkward. Yay, I'm Steve-O.
I'm Matthew.
And we are joined by Oh, he's not going to say his
Oh,
name.
I gotta say my name. I'm Josh.
We like to give people their...
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I do the show different every time. This is what happens when Eric leaves.
Yeah, I was like, oh, my headset was barely even on when that started.
I know you're good. Yes, we brought Josh on. He was gracious enough after his busy stuff, which I know you'll probably tell us all about because I'm very intrigued. But from Constantly Calibrating, so if you haven't listened to that podcast or follow that YouTube channel or follow any of his stuff, then you are missing out. Yeah, feel free to plug all that stuff.
We do a lot of things now.
So where people can find you.
Yeah, you guys are workhorses over there.
Kind of a little bit. It's gotten a little ridiculous since we came back from hiatus.
A lot of traveling, too, which is awesome.
A lot of traveling. It's been kind of a ridiculous thing. Seattle for PAX West at the beginning of the month. Mm-hmm. We are currently planning, seeing about going to Anaheim for the PlayStation experience in December.
Nice.
I'm trying to work out a few other things in there, trying to get a San Francisco trip in, but it costs money.
Right.
And we don't make money.
Right.
So
Yeah. I know all that too well with this.
Yeah, it's been a ridiculous kind of crazy 3 weeks now, I guess.
Yeah, it's been really interesting following you guys, and like you said, going to PAX and things like that. It's sit there and you're like, oh man, I would love to be there, and you're actually there experiencing it and being able to talk and get interviews with people in the industry and things like that. So.
Well, it was
been awesome to watch.
Yeah, it was a crazy thing because I've never been to a PAX.
Mm-hmm.
The largest convention I've really ever been to was Phoenix Comic-Con, which is a big convention. Don't get me wrong, but it's also the gaming aspect of it is pretty
non-existent.
Minimal.
Yeah, it's very very limited.
It exists.
It does.
That's pretty much the most you could say about it.
There is a hall in a hotel where they go and they set up the big screen for tournaments and stuff like that. But it's it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
It's not really all that much. So I've never really been to that kind of experience with a full-fledged gaming convention. And then on top of that, we lucked out and got press passes.
Nice.
And it was like, okay, shit, what do we do now?
Yeah.
I ended up, I think in a 4-day period, I scheduled 35 appointments for a 2-man crew.
Oh, wow.
And that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But we only had to cancel on-site one appointment, and that was just because our Uber driver took an extra 30 minutes on a 45-minute drive to get us to the convention center, and that was the only reason why.
Okay.
So
that's crazy.
It happens.
I was actually curious now that when you do all that stuff and what you just said, I was like, maybe you ever thought about just sitting down and writing maybe a guidebook for people, be like, this is what to do, what not to do with some of your experience that you could probably put together and be like, so you want to do this, here's some tips.
I actually really want to write a blog post or do a video series or something called How Not to Be a Dick in Media. Because I've been doing this now for 4.5 years since I somehow got press passes for RTX, and I've learned a lot over the years, and I've watched also a lot of people just make complete asses of themselves, because either a lot of it can be just maybe they're an awkward person kind of thing, and that's fine. But how do you overcome that awkwardness? How do you overcome? Because I'm a very nervous, paranoid person who's not really a people person. Who doesn't, know how to approach people, and I've been now the face of my company for the better part of the last year. I literally, my title is now PR outreach coordinator.
Okay.
Because that's what I do, and so how does someone like me do this? So I really want to write about it or talk about it because it's a fascinating thing I've been going through.
Yeah, I was just because even me, I don't even know. We've done a little bit, but not and by little bit I mean we go, I would like to interview this person, and then it's no. But we haven't actually gone and talked to people. Matthew and Eric did when they were at the One Comic-Con maybe 2 years ago or a year ago. They went back and they met people and they interacted with people and they got them to come on the show. And that's something that I wish I would have been able to do this year, but my Comic-Con experience this year was a completely different story for Phoenix Comic-Con. But yeah, that's something I would like to do where I just be even if it's just a quick hey, I really like your stuff. Do you mind if I do a phone interview, and then that stuff we can splice into shows and stuff like that. So speaking of that, I know since I don't have most of the traveling stuff, using an iPhone, would that be an okay thing to do, or do you suggest something else?
My backup is my absolute final backup is I do have a voice recorder that I bought 4 years ago, I think for $4 on the Android App Store. It works fine. It's perfectly acceptable as a fallback. What I recommend if you're going to do interviews, at bare minimum, you need to get something like a Tascam. I God, what is ours? It's like a DR40 or something like that. It looks like a taser, and I've been stopped.
Oh, yeah.
It looks
It's
like
got the cross mics at the top.
It has a cross mics thing at the top, and when you spread it out, it actually looks like your taser. I've been stopped at Phoenix Comic Con to have peace bonded on 2 separate occasions.
Nice.
I just want an interview. Don't run. This isn't a taser.
Yeah.
Like,
it's amazing how many times you can trick people, and like that. I think I got on sale for $60 or $70. It's a bit of an investment, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
Yeah, and you can actually work with it pretty well with Audacity. You can easily take out the background noise, and it works well enough.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
It's like if you want to put a little investment, that's good for on-site interviews. We now do. I was bringing our podcast mics. Then we bought these mic flags for RTX this year that did not fit our microphones. They made them wrong. They were a little too small, so I went and last minute bought 2 microphones, which I called the lightsaber dildos, because that's what they look like. They look like a lightsaber hilt and also a dildo.
Where'd you pick those up at?
Amazon, $35. Literally, they're the only microphone that I could get in 2 days. That's why I bought them.
Okay.
They're instrument mics. I found that afterwards.
Yeah, I'm curious. That's why I was asking where you got it, because I thought you might have went to like Guitar Center or something like that. But...
No, I went to Amazon. It was $35, prime shipping. I was able to get it the day before we flew out. They are technically instrument mics, but you throw a pop filter thing, or whatever mic cover over it, and put the flags on. It looks like a normal microphone, and the sound is, I think, like 1 step below our podcast mics, and they don't pick up all the fucking background noise.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So
are
all of our
they
stuff
Sures? Or
what?
what? Do you know what brand are they?
No, they are. So they are one of those companies that copied another really high-end design and sells them super cheap. I don't remember what they are though. I have them at home.
What did you ask they were called? Sures?
The Shure mics.
The Shure mics. These were unsure.
That's good.
We should come up with that.
That's all I can do is names. That's all I got.
No, it works. But they worked out really well. I did 4 interviews at PAX West with them. You're having me on the show. I got to gloat about this. I got to interview Hiroki Chiba, the director of World of Final Fantasy. I got to interview with someone from Square Enix.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, ridiculous. What? So, okay, now this is going to be a dumb question, so I'll ask it because I'm used to being the idiot on the show.
Sure.
Did he speak good English, or did you have a translator?
We had a translator. My first translator interview. I actually do believe, based on his nodding and stuff like that, that he did understand me and just maybe chose whether he could speak or not.
Right.
But yeah, it was my first translator interview, which let me tell you, that is a trip trying to figure out how to, because the way I do interviews is it's a lot of I ask a question, they respond, and then I'll usually have an anecdotal response. Yeah, when you have someone translating and it's a good minute and a half, whatever idiotic thing you just spout out of your mouth, it's just like nope, just question answer, answer, move on. And then, of course, our the Tascam that we use has this lovely feature that when it hits about 30% battery, it just turns off, but with 0 warning.
Kill switch.
We lost about 3.5 minutes of the interview. So I had to go through and transcribe that. I've never done that one before either, but it was too good of an interview to lose too much
definitely.
from it.
No, that's really cool. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, so what? So there. Okay, so this was probably for the next Final Fantasy game that's coming out, which is that 15?
No, this was actually for World of Final Fantasy.
Okay, World of Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 15, we did get to demo at the event. But World of Final Fantasy is kind of like they created an entire new. Well, the plan is for it to be a new series, but right now they created a new series, essentially starting point for people who either have a nostalgia aspect for Final Fantasy or have never played a game before. So you play these characters who get sucked into this universe that's all chibi-styled characters. They're like normal anime characters.
Yeah.
And part of it is they can actually switch between being standard anime characters or little chibi characters. But in this world, there are characters like Lightning from Final Fantasy 13 or Cloud from Final Fantasy 7, and it has a lot of the history of the Final Fantasy thing. So it's like an amalgamation of its own brand new story, its own new epic story, mixed in with classic stuff. So it could appeal to both people. I played it for the demo. I thought was only a half-hour demo. It turned out to be like a 3-hour demo, which I did not have time to do.
Oh, wow.
I only played like a half hour because that's all we had scheduled for, but it was a lot of fun. It was like playing a classic Final Fantasy, though, so a little sluggish, but like a lot of the ports they've been making of Final Fantasy games, there is a fast-forward button that you can do at any time. Conversations, which I don't recommend because the really funny game.
Yeah.
But for the combat, which is really slow and sluggish, you just hold down, it fast forwards through.
Standard turn-based combat?
Standard turn-based.
Okay.
when you're like chibi characters, you get these. You can like almost like Pokeballs, grab these creatures, the standard enemies, and you can either stand on them or they stand on you, and it's like you create stacks to create these powerful combinations.
Interesting.
It's really unique. I feel like it has a lot of things. Like a lot of times when you jump into a demo of a game that's a little bit late in the game, though, you have actually too much power, and I kind of was sitting there like,
you're like, what am I doing?
I don't know what to do here. But it was so freaking funny. Like it was kind of Deadpool-esque, and it was like the characters were aware they were in a video game in a lot of points, kind of stuff. So it's very tongue in cheek in many aspects. But it was I was laughing playing it.
Okay, that's always fun. Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah, I don't even think I've even heard about this one yet. So
they haven't really done. They have done terrible marketing for it. I think it's releasing in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I think it's the end of October, and it doesn't have its own social. Like I literally just posted the interview for it today. And it has none of its own social media pages.
Oh wow!
So I was like, I'm like, how do I promote this?
Yeah,
the answer is I don't.
Is it getting a Western release?
Yeah, I mean literally in like 3. It's okay. I'm actually blanking right now if it's the end of because Dragon Quest Builders, another Square game, comes out in 2 weeks. I think World Final Fantasy might actually be the end of November, not the end of October.
Okay.
They have a few. We tried a few of their games.
Huh.
So.
Right on.
That's pretty cool though. Yeah, because it's getting to that season. I just realized like Gears is coming out like in a couple of weeks.
So much stuff. It's exhausting.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. I go like
you have to fall.
Yeah, you have to sit there and pick. Okay, what do I want to get right now, and what can I wait on, kind of thing. Because I mean, I still have stuff that I got last year that I haven't even gotten through because I have no time.
Well, I'm bummed. I was like online earlier, and somebody had made a post about Target.com was selling Forza Horizon 3 for $20, digital code. So I jumped on there and I ordered it, but Target sent me a cancellation.
Cancellation because they accidentally posted a thing. I've only lucked out with one of those, I think, once where I ordered it and they were just like, "Fuck it, I guess we'll just let you have it," kind of thing.
I was like. Horizon 3 for $20? Yeah.
No, like
I would have.
I'm gonna do it.
I would have jumped on that too because I just got a code. I got a code for Microsoft just talking about.
I got
like,
the same
they're
one.
like, hey, you've been a Halo fan for 5 years, and so what? Here's like the thing, and I'm like, I don't even own the game yet. Like,
I redeemed the code and then sat there for a few minutes. I'm like, why didn't I just like give that away as a giveaway? I'm not gonna play this game. Like, but it's just the automatic instinct to just.
What game is it?
It's for Forza.
Oh, for the Warthog.
But you get the Warthog. Yeah.
Got it.
But like, I think I bought the day one for the Xbox One, the first Forza game they released. I bought that day one edition for like $20 off. It's still sealed, sitting on a shelf. Like I never
Motorsport 6?
I think it was 6. Yeah, I think that was it. And it was like I buy racing games like at least once every 2 to 3 years, and I never play them.
Well, I downloaded Forza Horizon because it was their games with gold deal, and I've been playing that. It's fun.
Yeah,
I played a little of that. I actually enjoyed it. Well, when they did the last Forza game, like the weekend play for the Xbox One, I played that for a little bit, and
Horizon 2?
Yeah, and I never touched like any of those kind of racing games except for like Mario Kart and stuff like that, where I could pretty much be like, I'm gonna kill my opponents. Like that's basically it. So I was playing that during the weekend. I was like, I actually kind of really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I was like,
Horizon's a cool series.
So
yeah, the Forza stuff in general is if you're looking for more simulation style racing. Personally, my racing love was always Burnout. Yeah. And you give me a new Burnout game and not the Paradise styled open world thing, but an actual like classic Burnout game, I will buy that in a heartbeat.
Oh, okay.
But they now make the Need for Speed series, which they added quasi Burnout mechanics, and it's just not the same.
That's what always happens. But it's getting to that season soon where it's just going to be all the video games and everything coming out. Because like that was me. I just got the expansion pack for Destiny, and I'm like, I'm going to play this, and I haven't touched it. Then like the Batman, I already bought like the season pass, and the second episode came out, haven't even touched it. I'm just like, oh my god, I have no time for anything.
Yeah, we're actually recording 2 Let's Watches tomorrow morning for Telltale's Batman.
So have you played the first episode yet, or no?
I played first 2 episodes.
Oh, you played the first.
I did a review for the first episode, and then I played the second one ahead of us doing the Let's Watch because I wanted to do a review for it, and then I made the mistake of forgetting to write it. So now I'm gonna have to write it based off the Let's Watch experience, Mark, because I don't quite remember. No, it's actually been good. I think it's one of the best Telltale games they've done in a while.
I enjoyed the first episode very much. I liked some of the new mechanics and stuff. Like I don't want to ruin it for people because I know Matthew. It'll be one of those games that once it finally comes out, or if it's one of those free with games I know you'll definitely play because you played those ones. So I try not to like ruin anything for anybody, but I thought it was really well done. I like where it's going, but I did like all the side stories it started like making. Like it's like, oh, this is going to go on with this character, and there's all these little subplots. So I'm like, okay, so
it created definitely like from a story aspect, it's I think pretty damn exceptional. But as far as a game goes, I'm still. Telltale has like the Telltale formula they've been doing pretty much since primarily the first Walking Dead season. I kind of started a little bit before that, but that's really kind of when they solidified their formula. And it's just not doing it for me anymore. Like I still like their games, I still enjoy the stories, but they're barely video games anymore. I miss Telltale really kind of rose to prominence when they started doing the Sam & Max games about a decade ago when they rebooted that series, and the first 3 seasons of that were exceptional. And they were still very point-and-click adventure games. Now it's really just, well, it's now called an interactive story. I mean, that's what it is. And I felt like episode 2 of Batman was definitely more played.
Playing around with the sound effects.
It was definitely more played.
You're the number 1 if you want to mess with that.
No, I'm good. I was just.
No, you're good.
Well,
we should have done that when you did like, we're going to do a Let's Play.
So, but episode 1 I felt was more movie. Episode 2 definitely, I'm going to say, without spoiling too much, allows you to play more. I definitely felt a little more in control. Still very much a movie. I mean, literally, it's a 1-hour movie.
Yeah. I think the only problem, now I don't think this is a spoiler. The only problem I had with the game, like a lot of people were like, oh, they mentioned this too much, or they mentioned that, like his past, it's like your parents. It's like, it's a Batman game. That's like his foundation. He's an emo kid with no parents. But the thing I hated was the fact it's like all of a sudden see Lena Kyle, and then she's all like, oh, I know who you are. And I'm like, oh, fucking shit. Like, I was like, no, like, how could she know it's him like that quickly? Kind of thing. Like, that was, Batman or something like that. I was like, that's the only drawback to that, because I'm like, because when it happened in the actual comic series, when he finally revealed herself to you, it was such this big, like, oh, and then this was just like, oh, so I know you work nights or I forget what the stupid
They definitely, I mean, a few things that they've done have been a little quicker, like, okay, we just need, X person to know about this, or, what kind of stuff, and so we need this for the story, no character development. Batman's been around for 75 plus years. We all know this is going to happen eventually. Let's just jump to the conclusion.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was really good. But yeah, I got to sit down and play episode. And it's so stupid that to me sit down and be like, I got to play episode 2. It's only like 2 hours. Like literally all the games are like 2 hours long.
Well, episode 1 I think was like about 2 hours. Episode 2 seriously, like even with pausing a couple of times, it took me about I think my Steam played time was like 70 minutes, and that was even with pausing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's not that long. Though I will say it had a couple of choices in it that the only time in my Telltale game history, which I played most Telltale games, that I actually had to pause the game and walk away because I'm like, I don't want to do either of these choices. Okay, yeah. It has a couple of those kind of moments.
But yeah, so I still got to sit down and get through all that kind of stuff and then deal with.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's just the problem with us. Like, we used to have that time where like Matthew and I, like, we ran through the Taken King. Yeah. And of course, if you go ahead and get that DLC as well, we'll run through probably that and stuff. But
Rise of Iron.
Yeah, Rise of Iron. But yeah, it's just like we haven't really sat down and really gamed like off and on. But Matthew, I know he's been watching. He watches a lot of Twitch, and then he'll find games and tell them me. And then like you guys were just talking about something when I came back in from having a smoke, and I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Well, like literally, I was streaming like 2-3 nights ago, and suddenly, I see the Fro Show pop into my Twitch, and I'm like, fucking hell, I know that guy. Yeah. Someone I know watching this? Why aren't they doing something more important?
Yeah, it was like I was hanging out, and I got the notification that you had popped on. Or, no, I logged on to Twitch.
Yeah.
And, what it was that Twitch AZ group.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You had posted that you were going to be broadcasting.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was one of those.
I think you're part of it.
I have no idea anymore with my fees.
So I saw that, and then I usually jump on Twitch before I head to bed, just to kind of see what's going on. And I saw that I went and watched your thing, and then I gave you a follow.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
The game was cool.
Yeah, so for anyone curious, I was checking out Smash and Grab, which just launched in early access, like Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a quasi-MOBA game. I checked it out at, I had an appointment to check it out at PAX West. It was like, they debuted it. and I fell in love with this game like the moment I sat down and started playing it. Like I only played one thing of it, immediately said, okay, do you have someone here I can interview? We hadn't really done many interviews during the event at that point. I'm like, do you have someone I can interview? They're like, yeah, our I forget, Jen Tim, she's a producer on the show, on the game. It's because it's made by United Front Games. Did you play Sleeping Dogs at all?
Yep.
Yes.
It's them.
Oh, it's them. Okay.
So it's their game, and which means it's a melee 3v3 competitive PvP game, and the goal is in the main game type, the goal is to accrue $50,000. It's a post-apocalyptic thing. You're two different teams, 3v3 as I mentioned, and you're trying to rob stores. And it's like in waves. Like so, small stores open, and a store may have a weapon upgrade for yourself or your crew because you have a lieutenant and henchman as well.
Okay.
Again, that's the MOBA aspect to it. Or it has money, and also with the stores that have money, you will also have items to upgrade your weapons.
Oh, okay.
And then after about 2 minutes, the next level of stores open. And then after another 2 minutes, the next level of stores, including the big box stores, open.
Yeah.
Which you can really, make or break. And it's really up and down. Like there's points where you have $30,000, the other team has $11,000. They kill a bunch of your people, and you lose money when you die.
Okay.
And they gain that money. So suddenly you just watch like a $20,000 shift goes from one team to the other.
That is kind of cool. Okay.
And it's just like it's really dynamic and really moving. Like you think you're losing, and then just suddenly, we won by $7,000. How the hell did that happen?
Even if it's just like at the last second someone kills somebody, but they just had
a big important
part, boom, and then it's like that is kind of I like that because then you're not so like. We're losing by 50 points, so we're pretty much done for.
I've seen many times where it's just completely and utterly shifted, very dramatic. But the art style is cool. Again, it's early access, so like the final tier of upgrades for most of the characters isn't even in the game yet.
Okay.
And there's like 2 characters not in the game yet. Like there's this character Tenblade. All of her lieutenants are not unlockable. She only has one that's currently in place because they're just not in the game.
Right.
Because again, early access.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool though.
So I watched you play 2 games. The first game, it was kind of unfair because you were teamed up against a team that was more powerful than you guys.
Because it's an early access game.
The balancing system's not quite.
The balancing system's not in, and then also they didn't erase people's levels after closed beta.
Got it.
So there's like level 37 people, and I'm like at that time was like a little level 4. That was the first night I was playing. And my whole team was myself a 4 and like a couple of 2s.
Yeah.
And he was like a 37, a 16, and I once played, and that wasn't that match. I played against someone who was like level 75, and the levels do matter in this game.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, I hadn't quite figured out what stores I was supposed to loot to get my weapon class for my character.
Okay,
so I I didn't have. There's 4 tiers of weapons: your starter weapon, then each tier of weapon, which unlocks in each round. I didn't have any of my weapons, and I couldn't even upgrade the piece of crap starting weapon I had. So I was ineffective. I literally had to be a person who was looting, and again, once all the stores are gone, that's kind of
you're like running up to somebody going like, and they're like, go away.
Yeah, no, literally, I was. He saw. I was swatted away. Like it was nothing.
Was it like
plummeted, man?
I was about to say, was it like the Lord of the Rings with Saruman, where he just hits people and they're just like, ah?
Yeah. A little bit.
He got his ass kicked.
Oh yeah, I got destroyed. I got so frustrated. The best part is I ended up taking a break to put my kid to bed. Came back, played not on stream, and ended up going until 3:30 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah?
Ended up winning 9 straight matches.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Where I got every achievement for on Steam for having the most money and doing the best slug and being the MVP of the team. And I'm like, where the fuck was this 3 hours ago?
That happened with me with Titanfall, the first one. This is going way back. Matthew and I jumped in a few times and played, but then our buddy Chris came over to my place one time before we were going to a show or something like that. He's like, oh, I'm curious about the new system, the Xbox One. You mind putting something on? So I was like, oh, let's play a little bit of Titanfall. So I figured to show him the game because I'm like, I haven't touched this in ever and stuff. And sure enough, it's a game where we're about to go somewhere and we're just hyping on real quick, and I start doing the best I've ever done in my entire gameplay through. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Okay, this is when it happens. I'm like, I got 20 minutes left and playing a game, and I'm like, I'm gonna be leaving soon. I'm like, oh, this is when I have the best gameplay ever, and I was all like, what? So
that's how it always is. I mean, the best time I ever had in a Halo game where I just kept getting full team kills and continuously the highest level multi-kill stuff, just back to
Oh, yeah,
back
the
to back.
chinchilla kill
Was the
like
time
I always like to call it.
no, essentially, but
Chinchilla
like
kill.
the best I'd ever done, I think, was like in Halo 3, and then like my dog goes over and noses the Xbox and turns it off.
Oh, that's
And it
a
was like,
fail.
and that happened every time I've ever done well on Halo. That exact circumstance has happened.
Actually,
that's horrible.
Going back to old school, this happened to a buddy of mine. I was there to witness it. He was playing Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo, and he's like kicking butt, and then his sister walks in with one of her friends. Her friend's like, well, I want to play. He's literally at the last guy, like about to finally win. And we're like, oh, we're going to see the ending. And she literally hits that start for next challenge, and then we're just like, what is wrong with you? She's like, well, I wanted to play. I'm like, yeah, could you have waited? Like, he had like this much left. It's like, new opponent. And we're like, no!
Oh, jeez.
It's always like the stupid follies of stuff. But yeah, so speaking of also that, you probably not only do you review like the video game stuff like that, do you do a lot of like, TV shows, movies, all that kind of stuff that to give?
Okay, well, yeah, let me give a little spiel, because
Yeah, go ahead, promote.
So we took a hiatus back after the Rooster Teeth Expo in July. I had what can only be described as a very public, complete and utter nervous breakdown.
Oh, okay.
Like I just got really depressed and really upset about stuff. I wasn't happy where the site was going on things. I just said, screw this. We're done. We're just taking a break. We need to time away. We need to figure out what we're doing. We were doing a lot of different content, not particularly well. And we need to figure out what we were doing. So with PAX, we came back, and so what we're doing, we are gaming focused in everything except for the podcast. The podcast for the longest time was gaming focused, so now we've actually opened that up to back to what it was originally, and it's gaming and geek now.
Okay.
Which means we're gonna have a gaming focus, but we're talking about anything like this last episode, which just came out actually right before I got here. We talked a very little gaming stuff. We ended up talking about the season premiere of Gotham, South Park, first impressions for a couple of us who just are watching Rick and Morty, and spent a lot of time on astrology, kind of thing. Like, so it was just a lot of random stuff. But the actual Constant Calibrating Network, I guess you could say, is primarily gaming. So we just launched a weekly news show called The Catch-All. It premieres on Saturday evenings. It's 5 minutes, 5 news topics kind of thing, just a video series. Then we have Let's Plays are going to be starting up soon, Let's Watches, and then we're trying to get the 4 days a week streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Constant Calibrating.
There you go.
We're going to be doing that, and then also on our personal channels as well, because what we did is I got rid of all written content.
Okay.
Just completely eliminated it. It's still there on the site.
Yeah.
But trying to edit and produce written content was just taking all of my life energy. Plus, we have 2 British writers, and trying to figure out the damn British to English things, and trying to get my brain wrapped around that was just exhausting, man.
Yeah.
So we just got rid of that. Now we're just doing the video stuff. So again, Let's Plays, Let's Watches, their weekly news show. Let's see what else is there. Then there's reviews, which we call Let Us Show Yous. And I'm hoping by the end of the year to expand to doing preview content for games again. And then finally next year, if Catch-All keeps doing well, and please, if you go to youtube.com/concalpod, CONCALPOD, please go watch the Catch-All last week's episode and the one that'll be premiering this Saturday. I need some feedback on it. I need to know what people actually want to see in the show.
Okay.
Because if we actually get some good traction with it, I want to actually build it up to being a daily news show.
Yeah, no,
that's the goal at least.
And
then also just what you were asking about movie stuff. I want to expand it to being not just games. I want to have specific focused shows for each kind of nerdiness.
Oh no, and that's cool. I mean, that's something I've been talking with Socially Awkward, because we do have a YouTube channel, and I've been trying to do like unboxing videos, because I do get a lot of the stuff and things that I think are cool and whatnot, or just a surprise. So there's that things. But then it's like I think I filmed like 2 of them, but I didn't do anything with them because I'm like, I don't have any editing software. I have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't like done a video class since like high school and like maybe first year of college. And I'm like, I don't even think I have those programs on my computer. So I'm like, okay, let me figure that stuff out first. But I do like that, because that does happen sometimes. Like, I like to read stuff occasionally, but sometimes if it's like you just said, like 5 minutes and here's 5 things that happened this week, like I think that's great, because sometimes you're watching stuff and you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, but I'm like, get to like sometimes I just need something really quick. Like I'll be like at work, oh, this came up, and I'm like, I don't want to sit there going 30 minutes trying to catch up on all this stuff when people can just be like, this is what happened this week, this is the latest stuff, this is boom, 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 and boom, and then you're out. I'm like, that to me is just perfect.
Well, that's the goal, and we're fully aware that we are still, despite doing this for a while, due to multiple reasons, we are still a smaller network. We've had a lot of opportunities, but yeah, we are still smaller. Maybe eventually we could do some longer form news related things, but if we want to get any traction, we got to just have short form content out there.
No, it's true.
And that's the best way to do it. So 5 minutes. So essentially, it's going to run anywhere from like 4 minutes to 7 minutes because things can change a little bit. But I just want to spend about 60 to 75 seconds. Last week was like the first episode we released. We actually did something smart for once. Instead of just releasing the first thing we ever recorded, we were actually been making these since the middle of August.
Nice. Yeah, you've been preparing for
trying
it.
to prepare, trying to figure out a format, trying to get myself to make them faster.
Yep.
Because people don't realize that about a 5-minute video takes a very long. It took me about the first episode, which we finally put out, which we changed a lot of stuff because we had a lot of I had a person make us new transitions and new intros and all this stuff. I think it took me like 5.5 hours to make a 5-minute video. But we spent a lot of time preparing and trying to make these things, and then the first episode we put out, one of the biggest like political gaming things broke with the Palmer Luckey stuff with Oculus Rift, and then some of his comments and all the things that happened. And it's like, okay, well, I guess we can't do. There's no way I can do just 1 minute on this shit. So I ended up doing like 2.5, 3 minutes on it. So because there was just no way to do otherwise.
Yeah, no, and I remember doing that. Like when you had to make these short films in high school and stuff like that, you're like, we did 15 minutes, and then you realize like I have 2 minutes that I can use. This was pointless. Like, and I've done that with podcasts. Like people are like, do a solo episode. I'm like, I can do a solo episode. I got plenty of content. Then you buzz through everything. I'm looking at Audacity. I'm like, 10 minutes.
Yep.
Let me search the internet.
Well, like that was the thing. The hardest part for me was if we were doing specifically like games, like literally just about video game news. It's like, okay, go find B-roll or go talk to one of my PR people that I know to get B-roll for their games. It's cool. I can just slap that in, talk over it, thumbs up, we're out of here. But almost every news story I did for the first episode was about a thing like it was about BattleNet changing their name. Well, what do I use for visuals for that? So I literally was like scrolling down articles really slowly kind of stuff. And it was like, and then the Palmer Luckey stuff again, like I had to go find old interviews of his just to have some visual aspect. Then I had to like teach myself a new form of editing that I'd never done before.
What program are you using?
Adobe Premiere.
Okay.
CS5, I believe, or CS6. I can't remember.
Okay.
I just use that. It's stupidly easy. Once
you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I've been using it for 2-3 years now.
Okay.
I taught myself to use it. I just with the very first Let's Play I ever made, I taught myself, and that was 15 hours to edit. Total to edit a 45-minute Let's Play because I'd never done it before. I had to teach myself all day.
Right.
Pretty much the ropes.
I totally get that. I had to do that with like Photoshop and Illustrator and stuff like that when I started doing comics with that. But yeah, the funny part is I always had like the full package with the CS stuff. I've never used Premiere.
I need access to Photoshop.
Yeah, me too.
Bad.
I think
I have like CS4 or something like that on my wife's computer, but like it's like to walk from my computer to her computer. It's like sounds so petty, but like that 4-foot walk stopped me from making images for the site for so freaking long.
No, I totally agree with that. I've done that where I'm all like, I go into the bedroom, I'm all like, the TV's out there, I don't want to have to go out there. I was like, Netflix on my phone. Like, I was I'll just make the sacrifice.
But it's completely and utterly like that kind of thing. But the problem is Adobe for their subscription stuff. If you want both Premiere and Photoshop, you have to get the whole package.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way to get they have like Premiere and After Effects and Premiere this, and it's like there's no way to get it, and it's really frustrating because I'm grandfathered into a really cheap monthly price for Premiere, so it's like if I try to get the full package, I think it goes up by like $60 a month, and I'm just like, okay, I can't swing that. My laziness is not gonna beat $60
for sure.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, like you said, because like you sometimes will get that full package and you're like, I'm only using like 3 programs, like, and the other ones just sit there. And it's not like that I won't use them, but it's like right now with everything that I'm doing, it's like I don't.
There's no need for it.
Yeah, I don't need them.
Like Photoshop and Premiere fine. Like I probably should start learning how to use After Effects and stuff like that because like I had to bring in a video editor to create transitions and new intros first, which I'm 90% sure he used After Effects, and they're gorgeous, beautiful things. And I look at them and I'm like, I probably could have made that myself, like with some training, but
yeah,
I don't want to learn.
Like look around too, because there might be like local classes and stuff like Gangplank or something like that where somebody's gonna like teach how to use it.
There's definitely local stuff. I mean, like I lynda.com, a couple of places, like I have actually like free credits for a lot of these sites that I could just take their online classes, and that's actually works a lot better for me. But it's just like I can also just learn as I go, and I don't really need to do this. I could just and I use the term hire very loosely here, I could hire somebody to do it.
Yeah, true.
Again, very loosely because we don't pay people.
Yeah, no, that was like we were having that discussion before Matthew got here. I was talking about like trying to find a third host for the podcast and like doing the Craigslist ad and having people like I always get to that certain point where it's like, okay, we're gonna meet. Here's a day, and then no response, and I'm like, all right, okay, and it's like that kind of like, trying to get people to do like just things. It's like very hard just to find like some stuff that you're looking for. And that's why I also hate it too. Like YouTube, sometimes I thought you used to be a great place to go for tutorials. Not anymore, because then everybody makes all these tutorials, and it's like they're not. No one hits upon anything that I was looking for. Like especially with the Mackie board stuff, and I was trying to because they like Matthew has the old Behringer board that we have. We got the new Mackie for the studio, and I'm sitting there going like the pamphlet for the Mackie was like 2 pages, and then I give Matthew his, and Matthew's like, he's like, yeah, but Mackie's on point and everything. I was like, all right, okay, cool. So I jump on YouTube going, people show me some stuff, and I'm like, I didn't learn anything. I was like, screw it, and I just started messing with the board and go, oh, that's how you do this, how do you do that, which is probably like the best way to do it.
That's what I was doing. That's what I have been doing with the Behringer. You gave me the instruction booklet, and I.
But did you at least take the sticker out and put it some? No, just kidding. That was a joke.
Let's cut to a little break.
All right.
Play a couple of tracks, come back, and I want to talk wrestling because.
We'll definitely talk some wrestling. You'll tell him.
I'm in.
Did you watch?
I haven't done.
Okay.
We'll talk about my life later on the special bonus podcast, which you can buy. I'm kidding. That's a joke. But anyways.
Patreon.com.
No, there's a joke about the bonus pod thing. I'll tell you that. But this, of course, music break is brought to you by Revenge Lover Designs. Illustrates and designs that fit your personalities. For samples and inquiries, please visit revengelover.com. And Matthew, what do you got on the Fro Show tonight?
Just some songs.
All right.
Every Mexican roses by the stairs. Surprises let me know she cares. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home.
Metal meter in my hand, sporting a pocket full of change. That's me on the street with the violin under my chin, laying with a grin, singing gibberish. That's me on the back of the bus. That's me in the cell. That's me inside your head. That's me inside your head. That's me inside
Yo,
We are back.
we be back.
Oh yes.
All right, so before the break, Matthew gave us a little bit of a teaser because Matthew's been doing a segment on the show for his wrestling and everything like that, and now we actually have somebody who's been able to watch wrestling and keep up on it. So without further ado,
That's right, brother. It's time for the Wrestling SmackDown news of the week with...
Sorry, and I'm eating popcorn. Go fuck yourself.
all right.
Yes. So, for the last, I'd say, probably month,
Yeah, we've been doing it for a month now.
well, maybe a little bit longer, I've been giving little weekly wrestling updates.
I love
And
it.
yeah, nobody else watches wrestling around like that I see on a regular basis. So
Well, no one.
there are people, but as far as
Well,
like
no one
in the
until now
podcast
because
realm.
I kept saying I didn't have the TV access because I don't use cable and stuff like that. Matthew's like, they have them on Hulu, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, great. I apologize because I should have done my research at least.
Yeah, you should.
But I didn't. So
That's okay.
Yeah, you get the 90-minute cut down episode for Raw, and then the 90-minute cut down episode for SmackDown.
Yeah, it's actually pretty legit,
And
so
then
you don't
I-
have to wait like all the filler and crap.
Oh,
And then
okay.
NXT as well. You just get the
Uh-huh.
whole of NXT,
Okay, so I'll definitely.
except for their takeover events, I believe. They
Yeah, but because those are pay-per-views.
network exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am a wrestling fan. I was when I was a little kid, and people that listen to the show on a regular basis are probably like, Matt, shut the fuck up. You say this shit every week.
No, I don't care. I love it.
And there was like a gap where I went to, it was a WCW event. I think it was Nitro. When it came to town,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like on a Monday, and it was a school night. My parents let me go, and they were like, "You have to come home right after." And of course, the people I went with, we ended up going to GameWorks after, and I didn't get home until like after midnight. And my dad was awake, and that sucked. My dad was
Yeah.
pissed.
Did your dad bring the SmackDown on you?
No, but like it was just.
What about the Thunder?
It was one of those things like he didn't really have to say anything. It was
Oh.
just like fuck.
Those are the worst.
You
just-
You just walk in,
like,
you
I'm
see him,
doomed.
and, they
Yeah.
always, and I don't know what it is. They always have the dad chair.
Yeah, the
It's
dad
like-
chair that's like sitting there like looking at the door, like it's just like
Like they angle it just so perfectly. Like you come in and you're like, okay, well here's the couch, here's this, and there's that chair, and how they just position that chair. He's just sitting in there when you come home when you're not when you're.
underneath like a like light.
Yeah, it's always
lamp.
the light that
It's like-
curves.
Crap.
Well, it's just like, wait, I don't remember owning that light or that chair when I
Yeah,
left the
what-
house. Did you go out and buy this at the
yeah,
elevator?
yeah, I did actually. I did. I've been waiting for this moment.
He's like, you know what? No one goes in the shed because that's where I keep it. I move it out. It's all
yeah.
like, what is wrong with you?
So after that, I fell out. I was
Mhm.
like, crap, I'm just in it. And then Total Divas came on, and
Oh,
my
jeez.
my wife was watching Total Divas, and I was like, what is this? And she told me, and like I started watching it. I was like, oh, nice. Hey, I know that guy. I know that. And like I started seeing old wrestlers and stuff
Yeah.
pop up on it. So it like started coming back around.
I love that Total Divas was your gateway drug back
It,
into
no, it
wrestling.
really is. And I personally love the women's division.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Like they, you know, the heavyweights and everything are cool, but the women fucking tear it up.
Oh no, you want to see me cry? Just have Bailey on screen. I
You like Bailey?
love Bailey. When she won the title of NXT Takeover Brooklyn last year, I
Against
legitimately was
Sasha?
crying. Yeah, I legitimately was crying, and then her goodbye from NXT match at Brooklyn this year, I also cried. Her debut on Raw, I don't know what it is. I have a friend who I used to do a podcast with who's like, you know, I'm a 31-year-old guy. He's in his early 40s, and we're like, I don't know what it is about her, but I cry every single time anything
Yeah.
emotional happens with her.
She's, like, super positive.
Something about her personality. Just,
She's super positive,
Yeah.
and it's rad because like the young kids, it's like Becky. Like I personally love Becky Lynch.
oh, same here.
But with Becky, I'm sorry, Bailey. She's got the young crowd. She's young herself, like,
Mhm.
and like she's all positivity and like a hugger, and it's all love. It's cool.
Well, if they market her right, she's the women's division equivalent of John Cena.
Mm.
Like, and she could be as big as Cena if they just market her correctly, which they probably won't. Then her career will be dead in a year.
Well,
but that's
it is.
wrestling.
It is WWE.
Yeah,
So.
they're good at fucking shit up.
So I started getting back into it, and then watching Raw and,
Mhm.
and then SmackDown, and this draft was really interesting to see which roster went to Raw and SmackDown. And I kind of talked about it when it happened on here, but now that we have a brand split for sure, I feel like Raw, I'm obligated to watch Raw.
It's the big show. It's the obligation.
Yeah.
But SmackDown's the better show.
SmackDown, especially in the last 2 to 3 weeks, they've
post-Backlash.
They've totally surpassed Raw in my enjoyment of watching the show. Raw, actually, the past 2 weeks on Raw, I've been kind of bored.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? And I love Mick, and I think Mick is a good GM, but something's lacking, and they've got the talent. Like, they are the show. I wish some of the roster on Raw would go over to SmackDown and change it up a bit.
No, but anytime Kevin Owens is on screen, Jericho with his Jericho list he's been doing
Jericho,
lately.
Dude.
There's been a lot of greats. Obviously, Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, that whole group.
Their women's division.
The women's division on there is great. Even there's
it's great. It's just really there's like no one.
Yeah, but and then this burgeoning cruiserweight division they've started up has all been great.
Cruiserweights are
but the show is so dull to watch half the damn time, and I definitely fast forward through more Raw than anything.
Yeah.
I never cared that it was a 3-hour show because I'm like, I can watch the whole thing in 45 minutes usually.
Right. There are some aspects of it that are working. Like, I'm back on Sheamus.
I think they finally have I think he has finally embraced what he needs to do, and then I think they've finally embraced how they need to market him, and pairing him up with Cesaro, I think, has actually been.
I'm a big Cesaro fan.
Oh, absolutely.
This got me on Sheamus again, man, and I'm intrigued. They're now so they had a best of 7 match, and at Clash of Champions they had their final match, the 7th match. It was.
The penultimate match, essentially what happened is Sheamus won the first 3, and then, oh god, how's Cesaro going to do this? But Cesaro is the Swiss Superman, so of course he then won the next 3. They had their final match at Clash of Champions.
Which was the pay-per-view last weekend, but it's the Raw exclusive pay-per-view.
Okay, the Raw, okay.
And I didn't actually get to watch Clash of Champions.
Oh, no?
But there was no way for me to watch. My network subscription expired the day before.
Oh, bummer.
And I couldn't find a totally legitimately legal way to view it.
Right, I hear you.
All of my usual sources didn't work out, so I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to read the results. But essentially my understanding is Sheamus had to be escorted out of the ring for an injury. The storyline of it. It
was a great match, and they worked really, really hard and ended up ending the match like in the crowd.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And both of them are just exhausted, and Sheamus is supposedly injured, and Cesaro's like, that's bullshit. Like, let's finish this match. Like, Mick comes out to call it, and it's like, no, like, I want to know who's the best person,
best person, yeah.
So that led to where they are at now, and Mick has made them a tag team.
Oh.
Well, so the promise was whoever won this would get the shot at a title.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. They were going to be the number 1 contender. So it was called the draw because it would be unfair, in Mick's words, to make it an 8th match.
Okay.
So they both get a title shot. Well, how do you have 2 people get the shot at the world title? Sorry, the Universal title. Stupidest name. It's so idiotic of a name.
Even the belt. I hate that belt.
Yeah, the belt's fine, but
I can't stand that belt.
It's just.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
But
better not be a Universal title. I do not want that fucking thing.
But how do we have 2 people go for it instead of doing another cliched triple threat thing? Well, we're going to go with the cliched pair up the 2 people who hate each other as a tag team champion run. And that's
now do you think they're going to have that like thing where they're working together and then one of them betrays the other?
No, I think they're going to actually win the titles and become like they're going to become one of those popular tag teams of all time. I genuinely feel that this will be Sheamus's final chance to become popular for really the first time in a long time.
I was really intrigued.
Cesaro's also going to get a huge boost.
That they changed it this way because I was feeling like I cannot talk tonight. Cesaro was going to go to SmackDown.
I think that was wasn't that everyone thought it was, and supposedly in real life he actually bitched publicly about it and ended up getting a lot of shit for it because he bitched about it. Him and a couple of other people because SmackDown's purpose is kind of because it's the shorter show is to bring a lot of people who should have gotten pushes a while ago and some of the new people to get early pushes. Like that was a huge part of what it is. I mean, look at half their damn roster right now is all about that aspect. So Cesaro was like, I can finally get my push if I go to SmackDown, and they didn't put him there, and he was like, well, wait, but I'm just going to be ignored again on Raw. but they're
working with it.
They're working with it. He's not getting the world title shot that he probably should have gotten a while ago,
Yeah.
but a tag title shot might be good for him.
Somebody's got to take down the New Day.
Yeah, no, that's so.
Nah, I don't know. They
You
should
like the
tag-
New Day?
Oh, love them. My dream interview is Xavier Woods. My dream
Nice.
person. I literally
Nice.
after every Phoenix Comic Con, they put out that survey. Who do you want? I just
Yeah.
read Xavier Woods in 3 times.
Nice.
Because I want to interview him so badly.
So speaking of like that, the interviews and stuff, of course, with Phoenix Fan Fest coming up, we just saw like John
they're
Cena's
doing
going to be
huge
there.
wrestling. John Cena, the Bellas, and Daniel Bryan.
Uh-huh.
So, are anybody there that you're like, I want to?
Cena.
Oh, Cena.
I literally want to have a 1-question interview with Cena. That's all I want, a 1-question thing. Fun note, WWE to request interviews is a joke.
Is it?
It'd be like finally went through all the red tape to figure it out. Yeah, you have to send a fax in. It's a fax.
A fax?
I'm gonna do it because I want to interview Cena.
Yeah.
It's
That's funny. Actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's just like one of those cases of, I mean, like I have like my 1-question thing. I just want to know, what was it? I wanted to know his thoughts on the patience of wrestling fans now versus when he first started, and does he feel people don't have patience enough for the long form storytelling that wrestling used to be known for? It used to be
Good
known
question.
for where it'd be 2 years
Yeah.
to build something up, and now it's like this person looks like they're going to win the title and they don't win it, and people like rage on the internet. It's like, let the story unfold. I mean, look, I think Daniel Bryan should have, going back a few years, WrestleMania 30, he should have gotten a shot earlier than he did. But they definitely, I feel like, had a story plan in mind that fans did not let develop properly.
Yeah.
And they ended up rushing it. It ended up being a phenomenal moment, and it's good it happened when it did, because, his retirement only happened, immediately
short time after
thereafter,
that,
pretty
yeah.
much. So it's good they did it when they did, but, I don't think fans have patience. I'm curious to hear Cena's thoughts as a person who's been in the business for, nearly 20 years now.
That's a good question,
And at the face
Josh.
of it.
I dig that. That's a cool
I
question.
mean, I'd like to ask literally every major person in wrestling that, but I feel Cena's like the best person to ask it.
So I'd be intrigued to hear that answer too, because I don't necessarily know if somebody asks a question like that.
No,
You know?
Everyone asks the generic questions, your favorite matches, things like that. Well, that's something I pride myself on, is to the best of my ability, I like to ask one unique question in every interview, or as unique as possible.
Yeah.
That was actually one thing I was really happy about with the Square Enix interview I did, because I asked a question at the very end. They were like, "You have time for one more question?" Shit, what do I ask? And I asked him just something I thought was actually a generic question, but it was what is the feature of World Final Fantasy that excites you the most? And I watched 3 different PR people look around it was revolutionary. I'm not even kidding. I'm not trying to tout myself. They were
No,
looked
they
like it
were
was
like,
really awesome.
"Awesome."
And then you could actually hear on our camera footage, not our mic footage, the PR person lean into Justin, my creative director, and be like, "That's a really cool question. We've never heard. He's never been asked that before."
That's
and I was
cool.
like, "All right."
Give me great honor. It's so. You're like, you dick.
Derailing a fair bit there, but
That's and that's kind of cool. Because I always try to do that when we have guests on the show. I try to ask them something. I mean, I don't even think half of my questions are decent or anything like that. I'm always like, "Pimp your shit. What do you do this?" And I'm all like, I'm like Anna. I'm pretty much I'm pretty sure a question of mine went down to with Annabelle on the show for Women vs. Cost. Would be like, "So do you like doing calendar?" Like just something dumb.
Well, sometimes no, but sometimes you have to ask the dumb generic question to get the person to start talking, to then open up
Yeah.
for other questions. It's one of the things I've learned over the years of doing stuff, where I get into an interview. I used to avoid doing interviews with people that I just didn't really know what to say to them. Like, I'd see a person, I'm like, I don't know what to ask, and then I just said, fuck it, let's just do an interview. I'll ask generic questions, and maybe something will open up. And I've lucked out in most cases where they'll tell something, and a thought pops into my head.
That's great.
But anyway, back to the rest.
Yeah, back to wrestling. I'm sorry I derailed that.
No, it's fine. So we've just been kind of talking about Raw. So what is your thoughts and your feelings about Kevin Owens being the Universal title champ right now?
He needs to have
the world title.
He needs to have that for a long damn time to come. I think Kevin Owens is one of the single most entertaining wrestlers, both on the mic. I'd say he's probably the best person on the mic in the last decade, and I'd say, or at least up there. And I think he is one of the best heels, best bad guys we've ever seen in wrestling. I can only think of one person who I think is better than him,
Who's
and
that?
Sasha Banks, when she was in NXT.
NXT. Yeah.
If you watch her, Iron Woman match with Bayley, she plays such an amazing bad guy in that match. It's ridiculous. It's artistry. But I think she's the only person better than him at being a bad guy currently. And then in the ring, he's also phenomenal. He's this big guy who can move so fluidly. You know, he has such.
And he's strong too. He's big. He's strong, and.
But he's also
his physique. You wouldn't think.
No,
really?
No, I mean he literally wears like almost like a girder around his stomach, like a girdle. Sorry, not girder. A girdle around his stomach, pretty much. Like he is a big guy, not just tall, but like he's a heavy guy. But he moves so fluidly, and then not just that. Unlike a lot of people, like I like Dean Ambrose and a few other people in wrestling, but they are very repetitive.
Yeah.
They do the same shit over and over again. Owens finds like he'll do the same shit over and over, but he's
an
finds ways
opportunist.
to do it. That too.
And that's one thing that makes him different from a lot of the other wrestlers that we currently have. He when he sees an opportunity, he takes it and like it usually works.
Okay.
Well, but that's the thing is like so recently when he won the title, it was this very shocking moment. Even as a longtime wrestling fan, it was still a very shocking moment. And look on his face, we genuinely myself, I run a wrestling chat group with the people I used to do a podcast with on Facebook.
Okay.
We actually had a lengthy, like 10-minute discussion. Like, okay, did he actually know he was winning the title? Because obviously wrestling's is a work. But it's like, did he know this was happening? Because the look on his face, there was so much emotion.
I don't.
It really think, and we had to do research, and it was confirmed that he did. No,
he did. Oh, okay.
But
he sold it.
He sold it so ridiculously well.
Well, that whole chain of events was pretty crazy. I didn't see it coming at all.
No, like I was honestly gonna fast forward through that match because I'm like, oh cool, Roman Reigns is gonna win, or Rollins, who I love, is gonna win the match.
I'm a big Rollins
fan.
fan.
Whatever, and then I, thought to myself, whatever, I'll watch it. It's the crowning of the title. Let's just watch the match. I'm so glad I did because, and it was spoiled for me also.
Oh,
and I still did not ruin the emotion.
It was cool because the camera angle that they had it, you didn't know what was coming until you saw the crowd's reaction.
Yep.
The crowd freaked out, and I was like, what's happening? What am I missing? And all of a sudden, Triple H comes out of nowhere, grabs Roman. See, I can't freaking talk. I'm like, my mind's running. Grabs Roman, puts him in, the fucking pedigree on the like pads.
Yep.
And like,
well, that's the thing
what?
Is, I think they've figured out how to film stuff again. There was a long time where they gave away their show, but they finally figured out like that 90s style of filming where the crowd sees stuff before you do. So at home you get this like amazing shock value to it.
Like a different experience
that they didn't really do for a long time. But even in the arenas you get that as well because everyone starts freaking out. And you're like, wait, you're doing like the whole, peeking around trying to figure out what's going on down there. So they've really figured out how to structure things a lot better in the last, I don't know, maybe year. But I think they've become less what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not stagnant, but they've complacent.
Okay.
Wrestling, WWE became very complacent in the years following the demise of WCW because they had no competition. So what do they need to do? They still really don't have competition because TNA is a joke.
Right. And
our Ring of Honor is great, but it doesn't measure up in level to it. And then what is it? There's
New Japan. Well, you got New Japan, but
we got New Japan, but that's still
so disconnected.
That's so disconnected. Yeah. They didn't only started acknowledging New Japan for the first time in the last year, and that they're a partner at this point. And then there's the one that's on El Rey. I'm forgetting what it is. That's very scripted, theatrical to it. But in any case, again, but none of these are competitions. And then finally, WWE created their own competition purely by accident with NXT, where Vince McMahon, who was the complacent person running the main WWE stuff, was doing his whole thing, being complacent, and then Triple H, Paul Levesque, was running NXT and was allowed to do what he wanted. And as a not complacent person, someone who I think actually does pay attention to fan stuff.
I think
he truly does.
NXT has been great.
Well, that thing is then NXT started really taking off, and what was the difference between NXT and Raw and SmackDown? Well, NXT was these great live shows where they embraced the energy of the people and they gave them what they wanted.
Yeah.
And then they did that with the Cruiserweight Classic as well, where they really embraced what people wanted. And suddenly, I think Vince McMahon kind of started realizing we need to take some of this. So what are they doing? So they really brought back a lot of the classic thing. And again, they definitely do listen in a lot of aspects because. Did you watch the Cruiserweight Classic at all?
I didn't. And the reason why I didn't was I've already got Raw, I've already got SmackDown weekly.
Yep.
I've got the pay-per-views, which now are they're almost too frequent now.
19 a year. There are 19 pay-per-views specifically for Raw/SmackDown a year.
And that's with the split?
That's with the split.
Okay. So now,
it's
because like we just watched Backlash, which was great.
Sorry, 19 for this year. It's actually going to be more next year, I believe.
Like we watched Backlash, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Clash of Champions just happened,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're going into No Mercy.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, and
Another
No
week.
Mercy is like, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, my wife's like, really, like a pay-per-view, like already, like, cause she likes to see the titles change and all that stuff, but she's like, we just had that.
You really are. We're going to have to start getting to the point of embracing one brand or the other kind of stuff because there is just so much going on. But with the Cruiserweight Classic, I only watched the one episode, but one event that happened in it, I guess, I wish I knew which one wrestling I would have had the names of the guy, but there's this one guy who just also debuted, I believe, they debuted in NXT or Raw, but anyways, he had this amazing match, and everyone literally were just chanting, sign him, sign him, sign him, stuff like that. And as he's walking back, and he came back out and, like, you know, blew kisses to the people and thanked them, he's in tears. And Triple H, literally just out of nowhere, who hadn't been seen because he's running it, but he's not part of it, walks out, grabs the guy, gives him a hug, gives the thumbs up to the fans, like, yeah, we're hiring him, like, we're confirming this.
So now
he
that
definitely listens.
Now that the Cruiserweights are on Raw, I mean, so we've got TJ
Perkins, who has one of the coolest freaking intros ever.
Oh, I had no idea when he came out and it was all 8-bit. I was like, oh, what?
I had to look it up because everyone was freaking out and I didn't get to watch Clash.
Oh, it was cool. It was cool.
Really cool. I really hope his health bar, though, like if he ever gets injured, his health bar is not at maximum.
Oh,
and
that'd
I really
be
want to see
way cool.
I want to see like them actually be smart and have him get the shit kicked out of him in a match, like just like decimated.
Yeah.
And just like the health bar just appears on the Titantron every now and again, like diminishing. Like
that'd be super cool.
If they're smart, they will do.
Steve, I think you like this dude, TJ Perkins. Well, the Cruiserweights, first of all, the Cruiserweights are badass.
Okay.
Yes.
Like they're so like they do crazy moves. They're acrobatic.
Well,
like
the energy is so high, and it's not just the acrobatics. Cruiserweights, to be clear, are smaller sized.
Right, 205 and less.
Yeah, like it's one of those kind of things which I was very surprised when there was a cruiserweight in the Classic who was the same height I am. Because, and I shouldn't have, and it's good I didn't, but only reason I didn't look into becoming a wrestler when I was a kid was because I'm like, well, I'm too short to do it. And I'm like, I mean, I shouldn't because I don't like pain. And I would have been horrible at it. But that being said, it was really cool for me to see some of my height. But yeah, like it's just under a certain weight limit. Yeah. That's it. So there are people who are technical as well. But it is primarily a lot of high flyers.
See, I didn't even know that kind of stuff. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and like his intro is cool. It's all like 8-bit video game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
oh,
okay.
Cool.
Yeah. He kind of looks like Mac from Punch Out.
Oh, you serious? Like
no, he looks
Mac?
like Little Mac. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
like,
100% totally looks like him.
It's funny.
Just darker skin, but I mean. I think Lil Mac actually like the revitalized look of him. Actually,
not
the Nintendo Lil Mac, but like how they
like
revitalized
the Wii U
him,
one, or not the Wii U one, but the Wii one that came out of the Punch Out.
Like even him with Smash Brothers, Zero kind of thing.
Which God, he's a good character, but get him in a level where there's no like ground for him, he's fucking terrible.
Yeah. Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
He's pretty awesome.
That's my cruiserweight for sure.
I still haven't really picked that. Somebody I was a huge fan of. What was he? Brian Kendrick. Sorry, the Brian.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of him a long time ago. Like back when he first debuted as Spanky against John Cena, kind of thing. Like in 2002, I was a huge fan of him. So like. I love that he's back in there, but I'm still trying to embrace like the young blood kind of people as well. So I haven't really like picked up on really someone quite yet.
Okay. He's pretty rad. Like,
but
I think he's gonna be good, dude. I think he's gonna. Cedric's gonna be.
Not to go on too long with wrestling because I imagine there's other stuff. But do you watch NXT at all?
So NXT is on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And not really, because I'm
I pretty much kind of like getting off my wrestling kick a little bit because I'm getting rid of Hulu, so I'm not gonna really be able to watch it easily. NXT is the only thing I'm upset about missing, and for one thing, Bobby Roode.
So I've heard about Bobby Roode, and I heard that his opening that he just did not too long ago was like
the NXT Takeover
was crazy.
his entrance at NXT TakeOver was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in wrestling.
Did he come from the ceiling?
No, like he was on like risers, but it was a couple stories high, and it was just him. I liked him, Robert Roode, when he was in TNA.
Yeah.
But when he debuted, he has, without even exaggeration, the single greatest theme music in the history of wrestling. I will go on record as saying, like, it is.
Not gonna bust that.
It is so intensely amazing. His music. Because for a while, wrestling got into this like new rock thing where it was like all the same generic rock stuff, and this is just like so like they made a behind the music about the making of this
are you
theme
serious?
music, and they did it for him and Shinsuke Nakamura, who coincidentally both of them have two of the greatest theme musics and also got massive entrances at the last NXT TakeOver. Kind of thing. And
Nakamura's so I didn't see Bobby's, but Nakamura's, I'm like, dude, okay, wrap it up.
Well, it was very long, but the thing is, when in your life did you ever think you'd see the day when, like, was it 15,000 wrestling fans were standing ovation cheering a violin player? Like, that is not the right crowd for that at all, but there was a violin player playing the intro, and it was amazing. We had been joking about in our armbar chat about, like, earlier that day, like, he needs to have a violin. Okay, Robbie Roode.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. This is almost like very Queens.
For wrestling.
Yeah.
I sing this. Like, this is this is gonna be my my waking up music soon.
This is gonna be my music for when I get done having sex with the girl now. She won't come back, but I don't care.
Like, NXT is gonna be in Vegas in December.
That is really...
And it's the closest it's come to Phoenix so far, and I'm looking so hard into doing a Vegas trip because I so badly want to see NXT Live.
When in December?
Like either the 7th or the 17th.
Oh, man, one of those dates. The 17th, I'm not. The 17th, I can't.
I'll look it up.
I know.
That's my holiday Christmas party. You saw my wheels.
I literally just saw Matthew like, I've done this with a concert road trip. Yeah, let's do this.
Because I need to see Bobby Roode in person. Let's see. It comes to
That's pretty funny, yeah.
Then it comes to NXT. Oh, no. So pre-sale started yesterday.
Okay.
Tickets on sale today. God damn, this site loads like crap. Wow. Where's this information? Oh, December 17th.
Can't do it.
Damn.
It's my holiday Christmas party.
I'll make my wife go. And this is Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, I even like this. I'm like, here it is.
So this is a live violin player played this.
Oh, that's awesome.
With a like very overly long intro to it as well.
Well, I'm listening to it right now. It really reminds me of like Street Fighter, like Ryu, or like you know.
If you see Shinsuke Nakamura, he's very much that kind of person. Which, by the way, Shinsuke versus Samoa Joe match was the single most brutal.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the people joking about that match beforehand? Like, so both of them are known as being very stiff wrestlers, and for people who don't know what that term means, stiff wrestling is essentially people who actually like connect with a lot of stuff. If you wrestle against someone who wrestles stiff, you're gonna get hurt, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shinsuke and Joe are both known for this, and the joke on Twitter for the hours leading up to this takeover thing was everyone in that auditorium is gonna have broken like jaws after this because like it's just people are gonna get hurt. And you can literally watch the ending of the match.
Yeah.
You can watch in live real time Samoa Joe's jaw get completely and utterly broken.
Oh wow!
And like you see this big guy, this big tough guy who I've watched for a decade, in hysterics, crying as he's being pinned. He's an absolute hysteric.
Dude, yeah.
It physically hurt to watch.
Oh wow!
I had to go back and because I heard about it instantly. I was like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah, like you had to go. Like I watched it happen, and I thought, "Wow, Joe is really selling this." And then I went back, and then I read, "Oh no, like his jaw was completely and utterly dislocated." And I went back and watched it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that is a grown man crying in the middle of the ring." That was upsetting.
What are your thoughts about this dude?
What?
I don't know. Oh, there we go.
Not recognizing yet. Why am I not recognizing? Okay. Finn Balor, come on.
The Demon King.
See, and then right then and there, that almost sounds like almost like Metallica.
A little bit.
Kind of a little bit. So Finn Balor hooked me because I thought he was so dumb when he debuted in NXT. I didn't know about his history. I knew nothing about him.
Yeah.
He debuted as Hideo Itami's partner a couple of years ago in NXT and was cool. But then the first NXT takeover he premiered, he did the Demon King thing, and it was the first time in my life, and the only time in my life prior to Bobby Roode's entrance, I've ever heard the holy shit chant for an entrance because it was so intense. I love Finn Balor.
Oh, actually, no. Let me take this back. This actually sounds like new version of like Castlevania games.
Yeah, okay. So, I love Finn Balor.
I'm a big Finn
and
fan.
I was very upset when he got injured.
I know,
when he got
dude.
injured by Seth injures everyone Rollins.
Yeah, and I told you this on the show. Like,
Yeah.
Seth's got the history of
Yeah, you were talking
injuring
about that.
people.
He ended Sting's career essentially. He destroyed Finn Balor's Universal shot, which was like the most surprising damn thing that actually happened.
Yeah,
But-
well, to pop it back in.
Yeah,
Continue
you
the
literally
match.
can watch him pop his shoulder back in the match and continue and put on an amazing performance for another
performance.
like 10,
Win the
15
title
minutes.
and just be like,
Yeah, you're
sorry,
saying
bro.
that. Yeah, you were saying that because you were saying like he's a very good wrestler, but he does stuff where you're like, okay, like he kind of goes off.
No,
the-
that's Seth.
That's Seth. So that's Seth
Rollins,
Rollins.
yeah.
Does a lot of really amazing stuff, but he has a couple of moves that he, no matter how many times he does, just doesn't do right any single time.
Yeah.
Though I will say, Finn getting hurt looked like, I still feel like it looked like it was more on Finn's fault because his arm goes out,
Yeah.
and then you can see it hit the barricade, and I definitely think that Seth surprised him with the move. Maybe they hadn't discussed it beforehand, and Finn just hadn't been prepared for it, because it definitely was both of their faults. Unlike the Sting thing, which I will blame 100% on Seth Rollins.
I'm definitely not accusing Seth of like
Yeah.
what happened. It's just unfortunate the way it happened, but the
Yeah.
fact that Finn was able to, for one, know it happened, pop it back in,
Yep.
and
continue
continue
that
the
match.
match.
It was pretty crazy, but no, I really like Finn Balor a lot. He, from everything I've heard, is one of like the nicest guys on the planet.
Yeah.
And I think he does just amazing work, and I cannot wait for him to come back. I just hope,
WrestleMania,
he gets
man.
well, that's the thing is what they need to do is have a surprise person for the Universal title as the competitor, or a surprise third party kind of thing.
Okay.
And don't tell anyone. Like, really be smart about this, WWE, and then just have Finn's entrance hit and give him that ridiculous WrestleMania entrance.
So,
The one thing I've
yeah.
said, we've joked about for years, because as far as entrances goes, Finn is the counterpoint to Undertaker as far as entrances go, if
Yeah.
they do them right.
Yeah.
So, like, if Undertaker...
Love Undertaker, but come on, buddy.
No, it's
I don't need fucking 15 minutes of you walking down to the
well,
fucking
that's,
ring.
That's
You
the
do.
Thing.
It takes me that long.
That's the problem. But that's the thing with Balor,
At least
though.
I know that guy.
Balor, if he's like in the main event, they're gonna have to start his damn entrance like an
'Cause his
hour
is
and a
long,
half
too.
early. His makes Taker's look short. I still say, because Taker's is mostly long because of his age at this point,
Yeah.
and the mysticism of it.
Yeah.
Balor is a spry guy. Like, his entrance could be cut down, and it's gonna be so long.
I'm a fan of Balor, but when he came out with that fucking leather, and I actually like the leather jacket.
I do too.
I
but-
think he looks pretty fucking sharp. But like the first time it came out, and he kept on like popping the collar, and I was like, "All right, fucking Fonzie, like shit, dude, just get in the fucking ring."
What I like about Balor, though, mostly is it's one of the rare times I've gotten my wife to actually watch wrestling attentively.
Oh yeah.
Where she's just like, he's so pretty. Usually only the women's matches she watches because they're so pretty.
Yeah, there are.
So
okay, yeah, we kind of started off with like the women, then we've just been going, but
Yeah.
I would like to know, for one, out of the rosters right now, who's your top wrestler that you would say, both male and female?
So favorite wrestler.
I already know the female one.
Well, no,
That's okay.
favorite wrestler period is Sasha Banks.
Okay.
Just
nice.
favorite wrestler, doesn't matter male or female. I love Sasha Banks. Though if we were to split it up, it's Sasha and Bayley. If we're just looking specifically at women's wrestling, but Sasha for overall. Favorite male, and we're saying active wrestler.
Yeah, let's do active.
Okay, so favorite active male wrestler would be. Oh, I don't. You know what? I think about this a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Owens, it could be Rollins. I don't know. What's yours? Like, I need to think on this for a second.
So I'm actually a big Roman Reigns fan. and people don't like Roman, but
It's WWE's fault they don't like Roman. It's not necessarily his fault.
I feel like he and the last going up against Rusev and their storyline that they've been doing, he's actually progressed a lot. Like I've seen progression like in Roman, and now that he's got the US title, I'm intrigued to see kind of where it goes.
I wish they just embraced him as a villain, because for most of the Rusev storyline, Rusev was blatantly the hero and Roman was blatantly the villain for everything that was going on, and I wish they just acknowledged it.
But I liked Roman when he was comical. Like,
no, I did too, and I think he has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell someone's training him on the mic, because he was not good on the mic for a long time.
Yeah.
You could tell he's getting training in that. I just think he's a person that if they had just started his push 1 year later, he'd actually be a popular person.
Okay.
But they just pushed him up before he was ready, because Vince, saw the next John Cena and didn't wait for him to actually become the next John Cena.
Okay.
But
the females, I love Sasha, and I love Becky. I have mad respect for Charlotte, though.
Charlotte's great. I hate that people don't like her, because she's outstanding, especially now that they've kind of started bringing her away from her father, Ric Flair.
Right.
Now that they've started actually making her own entity instead of Ric Flair's daughter, she's grown, and working with Dana, she's actually improved drastically.
Yeah.
I really loved when Dana worked with Emma in NXT, but they've actually made something really good there.
Her moonsault. Is that the?
She does a moonsault.
Yeah,
she does a gorgeous one off the top rope outside.
Her legs are so long that when she does it, it's just like it just goes, and she does that backflip and she lands, and like when she does it off the top rope onto the mats is awesome. But yeah, I love her moonsault.
So okay, favorite wrestler active right now. For male wrestlers, I'm just gonna for the main roster stuff. I'm gonna say Kevin Owens just for the total package. But if I had to choose, it would be just everything in WWE related stuff. It would probably be either Bobby Roode or Shinsuke.
Okay, cool.
Just because I think total package over there, they're great. And I think once either one of them gets to the main roster, that's just going to be that's it.
So I think it's going to be Shinsuke and Joe.
They probably are hitting the main roster at WrestleMania. They're going to be.
That's what I would think too.
The night after WrestleMania, the two of them are going to be. I think Bobby.
And they'll be there.
They will be at WrestleMania in some capacity, but I don't think they may not have their debut until the night after necessarily.
Yeah.
And Bobby Roode will be SummerSlam next year. He is being. They're doing NXT's doing the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic, which they did last year to honor Dusty Road, which was won by. Won by Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, which started their rivalry. On NXT last week, they paired up Bobby Roode with Ty Dillinger, who I've loved Ty Dillinger for a while, and they're finally giving a push. He's the perfect 10.
Yeah.
And he started off this really cheesy guy, but he has just got this charisma about him, which is great. They've paired the two of them up into I think it's the Golden 10 or the Glorious 10 or something like that.
It's probably Glorious 10, yeah.
Well, I thought it was Golden for a little while, because Golden was a huge aspect of Robert Roode's character when he was in TNA before he moved to WWE, and they couldn't call him Robert Roode because there is a Robert Roode previously. So I'm looking forward to them just winning the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic, because the two of them put together is just charisma through the damn roof.
Nice.
And two of the best theme musics in wrestling.
Well, man, I don't want to take wrestling up all night. So.
Is Hulk Hogan still wrestling?
He is banned from WWE. So
is he?
Oh yeah, after his whole
brother!
All his assorted scandals, he pretty much has.
What about Randy Savage?
He's very long dead.
What?
He's been dead for about a decade almost.
Yeah, I knew
that. You knew that.
Yeah.
He got a car.
Yeah, I made a joke on the first time it happened. I was like, "Oh yeah, slap it to a tree," and it was not well liked.
I'm still very upset about that.
I am too. No, I liked him.
Yeah, no, he is my favorite of all time.
He was a good one.
But
no, I'm just kidding with that. I know that they're long passes. So I did not know the thing about Sting though. Well, getting very badly injured.
So he was, because we all dreamed of a Sting Taker match. That's been the dream of wrestling fans for 30 years now.
Yep.
And then he wrestled Rollins at the end of last year. And Rollins does this thing where he powerbombs the person into the corner, top turnbuckle, sorry. And Sting took it wrong.
Yeah.
And during the match, Sting literally goes to do like a running clothesline to Rollins and just collapses.
Oh man!
And then at WrestleMania this year, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, which everyone thought was going to be the announcement of the Taker match. Taker was going to come out in some way, shape, or form, and nope, he announced his retirement, and that's it. Yeah. Now the dream is just, can we just have Sting and Taker in the middle of a ring? Like, I don't give a shit if they wrestle. Just literally standing in the middle of the ring, making eye contact. Yeah. Like, I don't care what it is.
I think the only time we've ever saw those matches was like on the video game where you could just pin those two together or whatnot. I remember doing that with the N64, like wrestle games and stuff like that.
You create your wrestlers and throw stuff together.
Which I still have not popped in. I have it. I downloaded it. I own it. I just haven't touched the new that was free for Xbox.
Yeah, I bought that for my PlayStation 4. That was I got it for $15. It was Black Friday. Came with my system. Bought it. Played it for 10 hours and returned it. It's one of the worst wrestling games I've ever played. It is so broken. Like the actual, and it's not just like the actual wrestling is sluggish as hell. The story mode is dull. I mean, it's so many things. I'm still excited for the next one. I'll be excited every year because I love making Let's Plays in wrestling games. There's nothing more fun.
Well, they're pumping 2017. The commercials they're playing, I'm like, all right, I'm on board.
Look, stuff behind it.
The story mode is something that was in part scripted by Paul Heyman, so I'm very interested in that because I'm a huge Heyman guy.
The pinning system on 2K16 is horrible.
Oh yeah. Well, here's my big issue with 2K16.
But it's a fun game. It's fun to make characters.
I saw Megan, so I was dying laughing.
Yeah, my wife made a character, and he's called Buzzsaw.
Nice.
I'll show you. It's ridiculous.
It's fucking good.
My issue with 2K16 though is you play a 10-minute match, and you pull off 4 of your own finishers, and you still can't pin the damn person.
Yeah.
They still won't go down, and it's like. God, I realize it shouldn't be like the old days where you could pull off 17 finishers in a row, or you could do one finisher, it doesn't really matter, and you just pin the guy and it's so easy. Like I realize that we don't want the easiness, we want some more realism to make.
Yeah,
it more
you want it to be fun, but you also want it to be challenging, but you also don't want it to be that ridiculous. Because games do this all the time, where you get to a certain, it's like, why is this so freaking hard, so freaking fast?
A wrestling game needs the up and down. You need the storytelling wrestling. I get that, but it shouldn't be the point that if I successfully pull off my finisher. Multiple times they kick out. Like, okay, in wrestling now, there's a huge thing with people always kick out the one time at the finisher. I get that, but Jesus, like, this guy is literally bleeding. His health meter or whatever is all red. Like, he's dead. His fictional children are calling in and asking, is Daddy gonna survive the night?
They're like, what do I get from the will?
He's still kicking out.
See, a game that did that big time, which was the biggest thing, was basically the PlayStation version of Smash Bros. Where it's like you literally had the idea, what Nintendo did, and you were going to incorporate PlayStation characters, like the PlayStation All-Stars Battle, I got the game for free, and I wanted money back. Because I was like, I have to build up, you could beat the crap out of each other no matter what, and no one will get thrown out of the ring until you use a special.
Yep.
And I was like, really? This is the format? I'm like, you literally, okay, I'm like, first off, you already went to the fact that you're ripping off another game, which is fine, but you literally took all the great aspects of that game, and then just like, nope, throw that away. We're we're at PlayStation. We know what we're doing, and the game failed miserably.
Well, that's why they finally, Brawlhalla has been on PC for a while now in beta, and that's why PlayStation jumped at the opportunity to get exclusive rights to put that on their system because Brawlhalla does it right. They copy and improve on Super Smash Brothers,
which makes sense. Like. Yeah, Nintendo came up with a formula. It worked for them. It keeps working for because, of course, every time they announce, hey, there's a new Smash Bros. Game, I'm fucking right and center. I'm like, dude. And they finally took the idea that I've been saying to do since the Wii version, Brawl, where I'm like, give us downloadable characters. Give us all this stuff. And they're doing it. And I'm like, and look, yes, I'm paying that money, but I don't care because I'm like, oh, I get to play as this character. I get to play as this character. I'm like, they made so much more money off of that game doing that thing. And PlayStation, on the other hand, like I have the game for free, and I have a couple, and I like the idea. I like these people fighting each other. I like the moves, like what they came up with, and some of the characters they brought back. But some of the people they did not use in that game, which I was like was a loss. I was like, you should have done Crash Bandicoot. You should have done. I was like, you could have done Lara Croft because she was literally a PlayStation, almost first. And when I say these names, I'm like Spyro. You should have brought Spyro into it. And everyone's like looking at me, going like, that's such a better roster what you created right now than what PlayStation pulled. I was like, yeah, it's fun to play as the Big Daddy, but technically, BioShock was on Xbox before it was on PlayStation. Like, they released that, like, a couple, PlayStation. Things later, so I'm all like, I don't know what they were doing with that one. So I was like, I would love to see another one of those Battle Royale games from PlayStation, or even if Xbox did one. But I'm like, look, you're already stealing from Nintendo. Might as well just say, yes, we know. Like, literally, your tagline should be all like Xbox Brawlers. Yeah, we're stealing this from Nintendo. Like, just, we don't care. Like, we'll play it.
PlayStation.
There you go.
Jeez.
Speaking of which, are you a bigger PlayStation Pro or Xbox Pro, or do you just play everything equally?
I'm PC more than anything these
Okay.
days. I've had bad luck. I was an Xbox almost fanboy with the 360.
Okay.
Loved it with all my heart. But I think I bought 5 Xbox 360s essentially over the years, and not one broke. I bought them for reasons.
Okay.
Like I never had a bad experience with the 360.
I was expecting like I had to do it because of Ring. I know. I was like, okay, yeah.
No, I was fine with them. I bought one for myself. I replaced it with the Elite. I then replaced that with the R2D2 one. I bought my best friend one, and I bought my wife one. Essentially, and then I hated the PS3 because I hated the controller so much. I've never liked the DualShock that much, and the PS3 one really threw me off.
Yeah, PlayStation 3 burned me.
But with the Xbox One, I've had the Xbox One since day one, and I'm on my 5th Xbox One, and I all warranted because every one of them has broken in some way, shape, or form. My current one is a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
I hate the system like with a fire. I think I posted last year. I'm like, how can I trade this in for a PS4?
Mind blown.
Yeah, because mine is in still proper working order.
That's what everyone says to me. And I don't have luck with technology in general.
No,
but
it's just surprising because
apparently,
Matthew has a day one, and yours still works like perfectly.
Yeah.
Like I just have had so many issues with it over time. So I've just at this point, if it's not an Xbox exclusive that I'm super into, I just don't play it.
Well, now you have Xbox Anywhere, so
Yes, well, and there's also that as well.
yeah. So you don't need
which doesn't work very well from everyone I'm talking to.
Really?
We've been trying to get it working in the studio.
I've heard that happening now. Like they had this cool idea, and now it doesn't seem to be syncing up very well.
You have to jump through hoops to actually get the update on Windows 10. It's not like an automatic thing. You have to jump through all these hoops to get it because and there's just a lot of issues with setting it up. It's expected to work better by the end of the year, but it's just much like Windows 10, which did not launch very well.
Right,
it's
yeah.
the exact same thing.
That's why we got the 1.1 now.
Yeah, Microsoft just releases shit very excitedly and then forgets, it's not actually working, kind of thing. So that'll be fine probably next year.
That was premature.
I definitely like
Shit.
Yeah, sorry.
If I'm gonna buy console and it's not exclusive, I'm gonna probably go PS4 personally.
PlayStation.
Unless it's something that I require playing with people online, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I will give Xbox the credit on that one.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not even that for me. It's literally I run a site and I need to know who has what system.
Okay.
It's all about that for me. So we lean PC whenever possible. It's
No,
the
that's
easiest thing
understandable,
for
yeah.
us. And then our team is split almost perfectly. I think like
Xbox to PlayStation
Xbox
ratio.
to PlayStation ratio. So for the non-PC people or for the people who have multiple stuff. So it's just like, where are we playing this? What are we going to do with the content?
Sony.
For sure.
I just figured we just start saying Sony one. So me and Matthew have had this little discussion or whatnot, and like I can see where like PlayStation obviously came out of the gates running. Yeah, they came out of the gates running right after the E3 when the 4 was announced. Did their whole thing. Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you. The 4.
Yeah.
You talking about PlayStation? Stupid.
Yeah.
Fine. I won't. Fine.
No, you're good.
You ruined it.
Oh, did I?
Done.
Did I piss off Matthew?
No more effects.
Oh, I'm sorry. But so they came out of the gates running. I understand they're probably losing steam right now, especially with the Xbox S that came out. A lot more people are like, if you got 4K, it's a little bit better, all this kind of stuff. So we knew that VR was coming out. And I'm like, okay, VR's coming out at the end of the year. You guys are going to be first on that market. Perfect idea. I'm like, yeah, at $300. I'm like, I did not think the thing was going to be cheap. It looked very expensive just because you put a lot of work, effort into this. But to be releasing the Pro a month later, I thought was a dumb idea because I'm like, okay, you already have people who have a PlayStation 4. If they're going to get the VR, they're going to be set. I knew you wanted to do that.
Yeah, buddy.
They want to get the VR, and that's good and stuff like that because they already purchased this. They want this. It's going to work the same. And then they're bringing this Pro out. And I'm kind of like, this soon? Because I'm like, I don't know anybody because I asked Matthew, I'm like, dude, if I gave you $1,000, $1,000, which I pretty much would cover a Pro and that VR set.
Yeah.
Would you go out and do that? And Matthew was even like, I don't think I would. He's like, I'd just take your money.
Well,
Yeah. $1,000. Yeah, man, I got this.
they've done nothing.
Hey, did you buy it? Yeah, working great, man. Sounds like you're
I
in
just feel
Mexico.
like, yeah. What are you doing out there?
I'm not.
I'm playing the VR, man. It's great. It's really realistic. Titty!
But they did nothing to really sell him on the Pro. Like Kind of Funny, Greg Miller's group, a huge PlayStation, huge Sony people, and even I was watching their stream when they were doing that whole meeting, and even they're just like, do not buy the Pro. This is like, nobody has a fucking need for this. It's the stupidest thing ever. If you're gonna buy a the next level system, almost everyone you know is like, just go buy the Xbox S that came out, because that's the way to go, or wait for Scorpio.
Yeah, Scorpio.
Essentially for Xbox, and then Sony's not going to do equivalent, at least at this time. It's like there's nothing about this that any consumer needs. There's literally nothing about it. Even if you're gonna have the VR headset, I mean, there's no, even if you have a 4K TV, there's barely a damn need for it.
Right. Yeah, see, that was the thing I just thought was a weird marketing tool for them, because I'm like, oh, look, you're beating out, because obviously Xbox, apparently with the partnership, I could be wrong because you know more of this stuff than I do, might be the Oculus, because they did do like testing and stuff like that. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be their VR standard, or they're going to do their own.
I mean, Oculus is primary PC. Xbox is good. I mean, Xbox right now is their big thing is augmented reality, virtual reality,
that was
the HoloLens. So that's their big thing. They're not really approaching VR in any way, shape, or form. I think most people assume the Scorpio is going to have some kind of VR components.
Probably,
because they'd be stupid not to at this point.
Well, they might.
They would be stupid not to do it. And my pull on it would be like, all right, well, have compatibility with Oculus, have compatibility with Vive.
Exactly. No, they as long as they don't go proprietary, they'll be fine.
Right.
They do not need their own proprietary headset. And I'm really hoping, because we still don't know with all my heart that PlayStation VR works with a PC as well, which there are a lot of rumors it will, or that it can be made to work with it. Because again, that will be a huge selling thing on it. Because right now the PSVR is so much better than the Oculus, but it's only for PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it would be a competitor to the Vive if they just brought it to PC, and would sell so much more.
Because like you were saying, so like Xbox is not jumping into that right now, because most likely what they're going to do is kind of like what everyone did with the Wii when it first came out. They go, okay, wow, this motion sensor stuff is working. Okay, what can we do to do it? And Xbox decided we're going to go with a bar, and you're the controller, and PlayStation decided to go, let's make fun of the system for a year, and then pretty much rip them off and fail miserably. That's the other problem. That's the other problem I had with PlayStation, with the PlayStation 3 era, was the entire time. They were like that kid in the back of your college class where the teacher's like, well, we're done for the lesson 30 minutes early. You can guys go home if you don't have any questions. And everyone's like, and there's that one motherfucker who's like, yeah, so I don't understand it. And you're like, shut the fuck up, PlayStation 3! And I was waiting for Matthew to be like, PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Oh, he's depressed now. But yeah, like I was like, okay, so I was like, Sony's going to coin the market on this. They're going to release theirs first, see how's everything done. But like to release that system like a month later, I was like, that is so like dumb, because it's like, yeah, you can make a shit ton of money from your VR, but you're gonna, that fucking system might, it's like basically what you just did the Sega Saturn move.
I still think this will be way more successful than that, but I mean, I don't think they need to actually really sell all the many of the Pro to make it a worthwhile project, because they're not. The reason Sony is doing the Pro, I personally believe, is to try to sell more 4K TVs, and that's where they're going to make more money, is off the 4K TV than off the Pro. And I think that's really going to be a huge thing. You're going to see a lot of Black Friday deals on the PlayStation
Sony
Pro with a Sony Bravia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
like you're going to see a lot of deals at Best Buy and Amazon and all these other places doing stuff like that. And Sony's going to make a
good
killing
pull,
off
man.
of that.
I didn't think of that. Good pull.
I literally just thought of that right now.
I
wish I thought of that when we were doing content for it.
Do you know what'd be so dick if they're literally like, get a PlayStation, get a Sony 4K TV and get a free Xbox S with it. Like the company totally just fucks over Sony with that, where they're all like, you're buying the TV and you're getting an Xbox product pretty much, and everyone's all like, oh, what the fuck was this bundle?
So I don't know what
He's literally looking at me like, no, I'm not joining your game.
PlayStation.
But yeah, no, I just thought it was a weird move, because we even talked about it. Like, I'm like, yeah, the next thing I'm probably gonna buy, it will be maybe a 4K TV, because I want a bigger TV. Yep. And that makes sense. And then I will get the systems that go with it. But like right now, it's like everyone's even said, they're like, yeah, your Xbox One is going to be fine with Gears of War 4 and stuff like that. Granted, it won't look as good as it does on a 4K TV. But guess what? This is the other thing I don't know. I'm colorblind.
Yeah.
The only difference I saw was from the difference between Destiny on 360 and Destiny on Xbox One. Other than that, I have a feeling 4K TV is really not going to be up my alley because I'm not going to tell the fucking difference. Like, I'm literally going to sit there going like, okay, Matthew, how does it look?
That's really sharp.
Yeah.
Well,
dude, it's amazing. Too bad your fucking eyes don't work.
So I've never been a person who actually gave a shit about visual stuff all that much. Like, I can look at something, like, they do the comparison things all the time.
Yeah.
Like, here's when the games are still coming out on the 360 and the One, like both generations.
Matthew, that bad. This is
well, like, you have the 360 next to the One, next to the PS3, next to the PS4, next to the PC, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, between the 360 and the PC, I can see a difference, but otherwise, if I look incrementally from one to the other, I don't see a difference. I never thought about that until watching people play Final Fantasy 15 at PAX.
Oh, really?
So I'm sitting behind Justin, my creative director, who's playing a PS4 on the left.
Okay.
And then there's literally right next to him someone playing on the One. They were diametrically so fucking different.
Oh, wow.
Like, the reason why I think that game got delayed is poor optimization for the Xbox One. That is my
okay.
hard-held belief. Because the PS4... had some bad texture loading, but it was okay for a game that's still 2 months out. The Xbox One looked like an Xbox 360 game.
Oh, wow. Oh,
it
yeah.
looked bad.
Yeah.
It was, and like we were, all of us, everyone who was not actively playing the game, like we had a little like back row of the essentially the plus ones to our people who were playing the game, and we were all just commenting, like trying to be nice because we're invited to this special Square Enix because we're not on the floor, we're in a private room.
You don't want to sit there and be like, this looks like crap. And
so we're all trying to be polite, but at the same time we're like, are you fucking seeing this?
Yeah, this is terrible.
So I was never a person who noticed visual stuff. So like the Pro for PlayStation doesn't really impress me all that much for that reason is all I'm trying to say. But then again, there are some games that like this that might really
work
actually
well.
help.
Well, I totally get. Well, again, look, if a game looks phenomenal, it looks phenomenal. But then it also comes down to gameplay, storyline. Am I going to enjoy this? Is it going to be something that's a staple in the thing? I mean, like you play Gears of War, like the first one, absolutely loved it. The second one comes out, I'm like, that's like everyone talks about Gears of War. I'm like, number 2, man. Number 2 had it all. Number 2 had the thing. Yeah, 3 has its moments, and 3 has like that part where you're just all like, shit happens. You're like, fuck. And then you have the fourth one. It's not the fourth one, but the Judgment. And Judgment I enjoyed, but again, it's like this is a prequel. You're doing your stuff, but yeah, the fourth one's going to come out, and you're like, okay, I'm invested in this franchise, so on and so forth. Yes, I'll put it this way. Yes, I got the remaster version of Gears of War. I was like, oh, how much are they going to improve? I was blown away when I saw that, but I knew exactly what I was getting into. Yeah. I was like, I know there might be maybe 1 or 2 things they might have changed, but it's exactly a remaster. Nothing major. But like literally when they do show those comparisons, Matthew and I have talked about it, I'm like, I'm colorblind, so literally all I saw with that, I'm like, this one's light, this one's dark, this one's darker than that one, this one's light. So like to me, I'm like, is a 4K TV really? Because Destiny is the only game that I know that has a colorblind feature.
It's MMOs are the only games that do colorblind features, and I think the only reason MMOs primarily do it is because they're expecting you to play 1,000 hours of it.
Yes.
Right.
So they're just going to give you the best like thing to look at for that time. But like most first-person shooters and a lot of even RPGs, they're expecting 20 hours or less of gameplay, maybe a 60-hour thing.
Yeah.
So they don't want to put the money into it because you're only going to be looking to it for such a short, quote-unquote, short period of time.
And I get that, and I think that's fine, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so I'm like, yeah, you can make the best, like me and my buddy and I, we talked about it, and I rave about it all the time because it's like my favorite game of all time. But I'm like, Chrono Trigger is a 16-bit game. Absolutely love it. Great storyline, great gameplay, just sucks you in. I can play that game like over and over and over again. And it's 16 bits. Yes, would I love a remaster of this game? Hell fucking yeah, I would. But probably never going to happen. But like to me, it's like, yeah, graphics could be stunning, but to me, it's like a lot of people keep forgetting about the gameplay and the fun and the interaction, and like people sitting there going like, especially like when you talk to people, like if you play Mass Effect, I could be playing as a Paragon, you could be playing as Evil, and it's a completely different, like there's some stuff that's the same, but other things like, oh wait, what choices did you make? Did you save that creature in the first one? No, I killed it. I'll be like, oh shit, I saved it. And then the third one, it came back and like helped me, and it's like that kind of stuff, like integrating, but it could be like, oh, the game looked good. What about everything else?
Yeah, no, I think we're finally getting out of the point where studios are so over-focused on the visual aspect. There was a while where it was really just style over substance.
Yes.
I think we're finally, and because for a long time it was you got substance from your RPGs and maybe your long-form action-adventure games. We're now actually getting to the point that FPSs, like even Call of Duty games churned out every year, are actually getting some substance to them. We're really starting to get to the point that I think studios are really starting to put that back in and not just focus on the visuals. And I think that's in large part because we've reached the plateau on visuals, because as anyone, if you read any articles, the human eye is technically really not able actually to see 4K level resolution.
So that's what I'm worried about.
I think they've officially reached the point where they realize visuals have kind of, for at least for a 2D plane, standard experience, we've plateaued.
Right.
So we need to start having substance in. It's really not until virtual reality becomes a truly mass market sensation, which I do believe that's coming. I don't think this is a fad. But until that really happens,
until we
we're not going
become
to have the
Black
second
Mirror.
thing.
With the like, yeah, Matthew did flick me off. That son of.
Yeah, dude. When we become Black Mirror, that's where it's gonna be at. You ever watch Black Mirror?
No, I've not.
I would say this: if you ever get free time, I'll put it this way, Josh. If you ever get free time, like in 2030,
Black Mirror.
I should be able to watch it around time my kid's bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
The second one, not the unborn
The
one.
unborn, okay. Highly recommend it. Literally, like, first episode, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's, like, a part in it where you're sitting there going, like, no, there's no way they're going to do this. Oh, they're fucking do it. Oh, no, they're... And literally, after that first episode, I was like, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
You're not the first person to tell me that. It's been on my Netflix queue for
he was the one that told me about it, so I was like, okay.
It's on my short
But that's
list.
like you just said you're finishing up, and this isn't like a joke, like to make fun of Josh or whatnot, because I understand, like, I even said that with being busy, and like I'm like gearing up for, especially the comic book show I do on the network. It's like all the shows are coming back, and now Supergirl's out to, so I'm literally binge watching Supergirl right now to be ready for the second season, because I don't have cable, and it was on CBS, and now that's on Netflix, and it's going to be on CW, and CW is doing like that free app that can be on Xbox and PC and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah. So it's like. But you're saying you're finishing up the second season of Daredevil, and of course, what dropped
today?
Good
joke, dude. Good joke.
Shut up. I was waiting for you to put on your, like, PlayStation.
No.
Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil. Daredevil.
You want to take that again?
Daredevil.
You're welcome.
Cut.
You're welcome.
Cut and print. But yeah, Luke Cage just came up, and I'm literally like,
that premiered last night at midnight.
Yeah.
And I'm on episode 8 or 9 of Daredevil season 2.
Okay.
Like, that's how far behind I am on the Marvel stuff. So
you're fine.
I will say this. So this isn't spoiling anything. This is actually
I'm
piquing.
not.
This isn't spoiling anything. This is actually piquing my interest. In the episode of Luke Cage,
Yes.
in the very beginning, during credits, so this isn't going to spoil anything.
Yes.
What does it say? It says Marvel Studios and ABC Studios. So I'm wondering if ABC now, since, honestly, I only started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this year just because of Ghost Rider. And honestly, that's what I like about the show right now. I'm like, Ghost Rider is phenomenal.
I've never missed an episode of
Oh, really?
I'm now 2 episodes
Wait a
behind,
second.
but
They brought Ghost
Rider
Rider?
is on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So
We're talking...
But not Johnny Blaze.
not
Ghost
Johnny
Rider.
Blaze, the third one.
Crap. He drives a car. He's
I don't know his name.
I don't. Well, no one does.
you guys just killed it for me. I thought we were talking PBS Ghost Rider back in the day.
Ghost
like,
Rider.
Ghost Rider, writing with that pen. What? We got Ghost Rider in the show? I'm there.
One episode I have a problem with that. It's like Ghost Rider was trapped in the dumpster. I'm like, you're a fucking ghost. Just walk right through phase.
But
No, I knew that Ghost Rider.
So
was
Ghost
just-
Rider was brought in the show is the main thing. The reason they're doing this is Doctor Strange is premiering next month.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's essentially this is
them trying to adapt magic.
they're trying to slowly bring mysticism and magic into the the MCU.
Yes.
So they bring it slowly in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so that when the movie comes along, people aren't just like, fucking magic? What is this shit?
Where's Harry Potter?
Yeah, like, So that's
I'm
essentially what they're
Dumbledore!
doing.
It's like,
I'm
Tracy,
here.
you're not in this.
So,
I'm gonna train you, Doctor Strange.
But you are right that they're doing Marvel Studios and ABC Studios.
ABC
so
Studio.
I'm really wondering if they're going to do some kind of crossover.
There's got to be.
I heard
Well,
a
that's-
rumor.
Okay, what's the rumor?
With Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., according towards the end of the season, Punisher is supposed to be showing up.
That's the rumor I read as well. Because what essentially happened? Okay, so I don't know what happens with Punisher in Daredevil, but all
Yeah,
I
I'm not
know
gonna spoil
is
it.
there's obviously Punisher is getting his own.
I'm sorry, he punishes people. Damn it!
Damn it! Punisher gets his own. Is getting his own.
Blocked.
Punisher's getting his own Netflix series, as
Yes.
we all
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But because Netflix is only doing 2 shows a year, we have Luke Cage right now.
Yes.
Then we have Iron Fist,
Iron Fist.
which is the beginning of next year. Defenders, the end of next year. Jessica Jones season 2 is 2018 at this point. So it's like Punisher is expected not to debut as his own show until 2019 is the current expectation.
Yeah.
So how the hell do you keep people interested in Punisher? And I guess he was seen to be where they film Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was actually seen to be in the area. And stuff like that. And there's also been rumors of like some script leaks that show Frank Castle's name in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a lot of stuff, and it's like, well, okay, Punisher has tangled with Ghost Rider a lot in the comics. Like they have had major stuff involved with them, and with all eras of Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they could do something. I mean, obviously it's going to have downgrade violence. Although anyone who saw last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. know that they actually pushed the violence actually for a network show pretty far.
Yes, and they actually they actually pushed back the time, I heard, because I watched it on Hulu, but they pushed back the time frame when it actually premiered this thing with Ghost Rider. But it sucks because you're kind of watching it now. I have no interest in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm not saying like it's a bad show, just wasn't for me, but then Ghost Rider's on it, so I'm intrigued. And literally anytime Ghost Rider was on screen, I'm in, and that's when you're kind of sitting there going like, I kind of wish Ghost Rider is getting a Netflix series right now because you could do so much more with this character, layer out that storyline like we've always been saying with Marvel characters and stuff like that, and it's just kind of like
the three characters who either have now been added to the MCU or need to be added to the MCU that will do best with a Netflix series: Ghost Rider, Blade, and Moon Knight. Are the three that really all three
Okay, you
need.
went that way, because I always kept saying Fantastic Four.
I think they would do well with a Netflix series.
Just because you could flesh out those characters a lot better than trying to combine four into a movie.
Yeah, you can.
Fantastic Four,
give
we've
them time.
proven, and it's not just poor studio management. Should not be a fucking film.
It can't. It can't be.
What they need is a 10-episode series.
Yeah.
They could do a 6-episode series and it'd be perfect. Like they could do like a Fantastic Four miniseries.
Oh, yeah.
It would be absolutely more than enough. And that's the format that they need because they're Fantastic Four. It is just too much going on.
And it sucks because Fantastic Four is a really good comic book. It's a really great characters, great stories and stuff like that. But the problem is like you're trying to mash all that kind of stuff in a 2-hour movie, maybe 2.5 if you're lucky, and they still don't get the point across. And then again, everything's mashed at the end of the movie, and you're kind of like going like, okay, so the next one we learn more.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting it. Okay. Like, it's always that up in the air thing. And that's like, of course, like Daredevils, the movie came out. We're like, okay, they did a series, and literally everyone kind of said the same thing. They're like, really? I kind of already know Daredevil's story. Like, I know this, and you see the series, but like to get that background, to find out this character, to know this people, all these people are coming in mentionings about like all this kind of stuff, and basically giving you a comic book where everything's wrapping in, and you're kind of like, and then that season ended, you're like, oh my God.
Yep.
Like, that was like reading a small story arc,
No, like the Netflix formula of about 13 episodes is great, and Fantastic Four would benefit extremely well from it. I don't know. Actually, the main reason I want Moon Knight is from what I understand he would work well for it, and it's actually a character that much like Luke Cage that I actually know almost nothing about that I actually want to see a series to learn more about.
I have heard there is like rumors and talks of bringing him into a cinematic form.
It started with the Punisher show announcement. People thought, well, okay, we have the Defenders, which was the arc that's going on right now. The next would be the Marvel Knights stuff, which is Punisher, Moon Knight, Blade, I believe.
Yeah, Blade, I believe.
And there's one other. Ghost Rider's sometimes been involved with that.
Yeah, he's
stuff.
sometimes in it.
So, but like with the rumors, the Blade stuff, and I don't know if you've seen Wesley Snipes has been tweeting about Blade all the fucking time lately.
Well, this is the thing. It's so funny. He came out and like I would be on board with like him coming back to respise this character kind of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not going to say like don't try a new person because obviously they did that with Daredevil. They did that with all these other characters so far, and we like these people now. But yeah, the Marvel universe is very strange because I even mentioned with like them bringing Doctor Strange in. Like I have my co-host on Longbox Cast who's like, he's like, yeah, I want to see the movie, but I'm also like, it doesn't intrigue me. And I'm like, well, this is a movie that I feel like people who are not into comics that much or don't know, like some people be like, I'm going to go see it because I'm involved in this Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling my parents are going to see this movie because they'll watch the movies. They're like, oh, I enjoy them, but they might watch this movie and be like, okay, I have no idea what's going on, and might take them out. Like, I have a feeling like this is a stepping stone, and I go, a good thing to bring him in, like Doctor Strange, is when he meets finally Scarlet Witch, to let her know, be like, no, this isn't like a weird experiment. Like, you know how to use magic. Let me train you, kind of. As soon as I say that, people are like, oh, that's a good move to kind of get him into the Avengers and
that
all
would
that
be
kind
a way.
of stuff.
I mean, they've spoiled the damn movie in a sense a little bit, but they've already confirmed he's in Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War. Well, I kind of figured he wasn't going to die in the first movie.
I know, but I
that would be funny though if they literally just like, hey, we're doing Howard the Duck, and everyone's like, all right, cool. And then like at the end of the movie, it's like Howard the Duck is dead, and everyone's like, oh, I did not see that coming.
Well, with Doctor Strange, with the mysticism angle, they could very easily killed him at the end of the first movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they could very easily do that in some way, shape, or form. But he's not dead; he's on the astral plane.
Yeah.
Something, one of those sort of things. They could very easily do something like that, and maybe they still will. But,
Yeah.
So I hate the. Again, this is like what I was talking about with the wrestling topic as well. I hate the internet generation of things having to be like handed to you so quickly that they can't really just like wait on shit.
And that's the thing. Like, Marvel has a tendency to be like, we're doing this, and this. Like, DC, like, granted, their movies, everybody's like one way or another with them, and they're slowly building their universe. But like, literally, there was that thing where it's all like, oh, here's a thing for Deathstroke,
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, I didn't even think that character was going to be in the movie. Like, DC does this thing where they, like, literally at the Comic-Con, they're all like, oh yeah, Wonder Woman's coming out. Oh, here's the Justice League trailer, and everyone did not see that coming.
Yep.
And you were like, oh shit, this looks really like, I'm on board. Like, so DC does this weird thing, and like Marvel literally just puts it on front street, be like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy 2's filming, boom. Oh, guess what? They're all in Infinity War. Like, they don't let you lead up to it. They like wouldn't even wait till like that at the end of this thing, going like, it's all like literally at the end of the movie of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, be like, well, we found out a lot of the stones are on this planet called Earth, and they just leave it at that, and you're like. Like, we'd be excited, but they would be like, oh, no, we're going to be in it. So you're like, all right. It's like, I'm on board, but I'm also like, where's the fun in, like, finding it out?
Yeah, they've Phase 1 of Marvel was really good with the lead-ons.
Yes.
Leading you into the next movie and being very subtle about things. Phase 2 and now going into Phase 3, they've kind of
they've
it's
really,
very blunt hammered it.
Yeah, they very just kind of put it. But I am excited for, like, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, I mean, as a lifelong Spider-Man fan who absolutely fell in love with Spider-Man in Civil War. Like, well, I've said this before. Tobey Maguire made a great Peter Parker.
Oh my God.
Andrew Garfield made a great Spider-Man.
You and I.
But they were, I feel like, I don't think they were phenomenal at the other side of things.
That's exactly what I said, because I put it this way. I go, yeah, he played a great Peter Parker, but when he was Spider-Man, like, his quips weren't that on the ball. Andrew Garfield's quips on the ball, but me, when he was Peter Parker, I'm like, bullshit, that kid is getting laid. I'm like, look at him.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
Like, that, seriously, like, it felt a complete, like, thing, but with what the hell is
Tom
Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
What he felt like he in the movie, I felt like I was looking at Peter Parker. I felt like I was looking at Spider-Man.
First off, we finally get a Spider-Man with a Queen's accent, and I'm like, okay, I'm on board, because I can't be like, I'm a New Yorker. I was born in New York and everything that, but I always have like that kind of like kind of cool aspect. But like everything he said, just like,
oh no,
he was perfect.
It oozed New Yorker mentality and everything like that, and he had the quips right, and he had the fear right, and the look right. Everything was just great. So the Homecoming is a huge excitement factor.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun, and the fact that like they're using a villain, like, this was leaked, but it's like Shocker's gonna be in it.
Shocker's my all-time favorite.
And
Spidey
I'm sitting there
villain.
going there you guys go. You're finally grabbing, like, look, yes, we've seen. We've seen Green Goblin. Yes, would I like to see Green Goblin again? Yes, but I've already seen him like twice already in the reboot franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you can bring him in, but bring him in like later. Like, he's a great Spider-Man.
He's essentially the Lex Luthor. He's the Joker.
Yeah.
He's the main villain, pretty much.
But it's like you're giving us Vulture. Now you're giving us Shocker. Apparently, there's going to be like another villain in this movie. People
I've dreamt of. I mean, we're getting, and I'm so freaking excited for it. So.
It's fun.
I want to see what they're doing. There's a lot more. I have to go. So.
Oh, you gotta.
I gotta go. Wife is not feeling well.
Oh, so. No, you're good. If you want, before you leave, real quick, if you want to pimp everything where people can find you.
Yeah, I was about to ask if I could do something.
Oh yeah, no, go right ahead.
Just say pimp.
Yeah, just pimp it.
I'm gonna pimp us out.
Yeah, pimp us out.
Okay, so
show me that bling.
Oh yeah. So okay. So for anyone listening interested, you can find Constant Calibrating at ConstantCalibrating.com. We do a weekly live podcast on Twitch. What? No, what we're doing now?
I'm like, no, quickly, do your stuff. And Matthew's like,
no.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Twitch.tv/ConstantCalibrating. We do the live Monday night 6 p.m. Pacific time thing. And then we're doing daily streams will start up in like October at some point. We do the live news show, youtube.com/ConCalPod on Saturdays. And then you can find all our content, as I said, ConstantCalibrating.com, Facebook, Twitter. It's either Constant Calibrating or ConCalPod. One thing I want to talk about, just really quickly, we are going to be taking part, actually the first time I'm talking about publicly, the Extra Life charity. We're going to be doing,
nice.
We're still working on the plans, but we're going to be doing a 25-hour stream November 5th.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah,
So,
something I always wanted to do. But
I'm going
did.
to be talking to both of you guys because we want lots of guests. Because no
perfect.
way fucking hell can I do 25 hours of straight streaming by myself.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we are working on completely outfitting my entire house into a Twitch streaming studio.
Oh, wow.
Okay, cool,
We are
yeah.
getting sponsors I'm working on right now. We are working on special guests all the way from, random cosplayer A that I know in Phoenix all the way up to some like major people we're working on getting involved. So we're going to be doing stuff.
Very cool.
No announcements really yet. We have, if you look up Constantly Calibrating or myself, Joshua Silverman, I think you can find us on the Extra Life page if you want to donate early. But we'll be making some official announcements in about 2 weeks, I hope.
Okay.
So we got some cool stuff coming on. I just
Awesome,
want to talk
dude.
about it because I want to get really into charity stuff.
For sure.
That's my big next
yeah,
motion.
That's fun. Well, tell you what, like, let us know. Give us anything if we can, like, put that out there. Be like, hey, check out this and anything we can help out. Because I'm always big on charities.
I will be asking people to whore us out. Like you have no idea. I will be asking all of our friends to do stuff very soon.
But definitely. But Joshua, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you for joining us on this Socially Awkward episode. Of course, you can find us on, Socially Awkward on Facebook, Twitter, all that great stuff. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Amazon.com. Go to the Sasquatch.net. Click on that Amazon banner, shop like you normally do. And Matthew, do you have anything else to add before we click out of this bad boy?
Just have a good weekend.
All right, then. Until next time. Oh, you better tap that shit!
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.